Welcome to the Nostalgia Test Podcast, the show where two longtime friends put their mainstream pop culture past to the ultimate test, the Nostalgia Test. People, we are here today with an amazing guest. Actually,
guest episode.
Yeah, it is a guest episode. And actually, Billy, you requested this like a while ago when the podcast started, when we announced it, and you literally was just like Roadhouse. And it was like, well, when we do it, we're calling Billy. We're getting up here, and we're here with our friend, our longtime friend here, Billy D'Elia there in North Carolina right now.
Yep, I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina.
There you are. Oh my God, this is a podcast all over.
This podcast goes all over the United States.
Yeah. Billy, how are you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Happy to be here discussing, one of the greatest films ever made.
You guys, both of you guys might actually hate me on this episode.
Man.
Man. Steve's gonna love this episode because I'm gonna.
Fuck you.
I got some arguments here.
I'm sure you can make them. Yeah, I'm not going to agree with you, but you can make them.
Yeah, no.
I just finished watching this movie about a half hour ago. And I couldn't. Just like Point Break, I could not believe that this was a 2-hour film. I was just like,
First of all, Dan, did we even talk about what we're doing?
We're doing.
You didn't do the
Roadhouse.
introduction. Come on.
Yeah,
Roadhouse.
We're doing Roadhouse, and I'm going to give you some Roadhouse. Oh, you see, I almost read the description for what is quite possibly the greatest thing I've ever found. But we're doing Roadhouse, 1989 American action film directed by Rowdy Herrington and starring Patrick Swayze as a cooler at a newly refurbished roadside bar who protects a small town in Missouri from a corrupt businessman. Sam Elliott co-stars as a bouncer, the mentor friend, and foil of Swayze's character. The cast includes Kelly Lynch as Swayze's love interest and Ben Gazzara as the main antagonist. And a whole bunch of other people. I mean, Terry Funk is in this movie, which is hilarious to me. This movie was budgeted at $15 million in 1989, and it made $30 million. So,
Wait, how much?
30.
And it was budgeted at what?
15.
Jeez, and it was considered a flop.
This was considered a flop. Yeah, it definitely was considered a flop.
Oh yeah, dude, this was considered his flop because this was after Dirty Dancing. And they thought he was gonna and Dirty Dancing killed it.
Because that was what 87.
Hold on,
that's a Dan question. But yeah, so they were this. They thought this was gonna be as good, as well received, and it wasn't.
Yeah,
and it was considered a flop, but then got cult standings later on. Just like I'm sure why you love this one. I'm gonna admit this is actually the first time I've watched it in its entirety.
Is this like an HBO plug in and out? I'll watch 20 minutes here, 20 minutes. Yeah. We all have those movies we've done that with.
But I've always heard about this movie through other people. People Roadhouse, Roadhouse. And people would quote it. And I was like, yo, I don't get it. Why is this movie I've never seen it? And I was like, holy 80s fuck.
That's exactly what I said. But yeah,
it's a culmination of the 80s. It's 89. It's every ridiculous fucking thing about the 1980s in one film.
And Wild Wild West. What? Where does this all happen?
Missouri.
I know it says Missouri, but I'm thinking right from the start, there's knives. Why does everybody have a knife in Missouri?
Yeah.
Well, everyone has a knife, and they all bring it to a bar. It's like hanging out with Dave.
Oh my god,
dude! But the funny thing is, the opening scene, I didn't know where that bar was. Right?
Oh, it's in New York. It's in Queens, I think.
But that's the weird thing. It's in Queens, and I'm like, where in Queens is this?
Yeah.
I've never been anywhere in Queens, unless it was Long Island City, because that was a cesspool.
It's quite possible.
Right. So yeah, Dirty Dancing came out in 87, and this came out in 89.
And it was definitely Long Island City because that's where Cocktail was.
This is Cocktail too.
Where his brother. That was the uncle's bar. That was the uncle's bar.
Yeah. But you know what's funny? Red Dawn came out in 1984. So Patrick Swayze was in Red Dawn, 1984, 1987, Dirty Dancing, 1989, Roadhouse, and then he goes from Roadhouse to like Next of Kin, which is 1989. Then he does.
That's
Ghost.
a terrible movie.
But then he does Ghost.
Just like this one is.
And Ghost is amazing. But then he does Point Break right after that, which is he really picks interesting characters. So like,
wait, do you know why he does Ghost?
Yeah, because he got
hurt filming this film.
Oh, really?
Because he actually him and the guy with the pool cue.
Oh yeah, that dude.
Those
that
two
guy.
loved each other's. Those two loved each other's fighting abilities and their love for the art that they loved. They wanted to all do their own stunts.
Yeah.
And he actually got beat up in one of the stunts, hurt himself so bad he was supposed to be in Tango and Cash, got written out of Tango and Cash, and instead got put into Ghost because he couldn't do any action.
Oh wow.
Dude.
And then that ended up being like the best choice because he fucking killed it in Ghost.
Then
wait,
he
who
went
was
right
he supposed
into
to be
Point
in
Break.
Tango and Cash then? Who was he supposed to be? Fucking Kurt Russell?
Probably got the hair.
Probably. I would say
What I think of the hair.
He was supposed to be where's it?
That's what I was thinking. The hair too, Dan. Exactly.
Yeah,
you know?
he couldn't have been the Stallone part.
No, God,
no,
no.
he's supposed to be Cash.
So
I don't know who Cash was.
That doesn't
Kurt
mean
Russell.
anything to
I
me.
think that's Kurt Russell.
Imagine that movie with
he turned down
Stallone
the
and
roles
Swayze.
of
Jesus.
Gabriel Cash in Tango and Cash and Mike in Predator 2. So he was supposed to be in both
Predator
of those.
2, another terrible film.
Oh man, that movie was terrible. Oh,
I mean, let's talk about just the overall concept of this movie and how ridiculous. Like, he's a fucking world-renowned cooler. Like, what the fuck? Who writes this script and is like, all right, it's about a world-renowned cooler, and they're like, yes, here's $15 million. Please make this film.
That's what I want to know. I want to know. I want to be in the pitch room and be like, okay, here's the premise. He's a cooler. Perfect. Here's $15 million. What?
Yeah.
I would be like, first I would be like, wait, question one. What's a cooler?
Yes, exactly.
What the fuck are you talking about? It's like, oh, you know, it's like, so he's the guy that checks my ID. This is the movie, the ID guy. Like, you're making a movie around the ID guy? Like, get the fuck out of here.
He's like so much more than that because he basically sets up the guy's like business. Forget about the bouncing part of it. He's like telling them to get rid of the bartender, get rid of the waitress, this and that. He's like managing the place. He's not just the cooler. First of all, the cooler, like I thought it was like a gambling term, like when you send somebody over and like when the table is hot, you like send over the cooler.
Send over the loser, yeah.
So like, but the right off the opening scene, we go into this like, I thought it was a rodeo, but it was more like a Studio 54. So now that you're saying it was Manhattan or New York, I get it. But then like, what is the guy doing with a knife, playing with the chick, and like then like kicks her right between the legs?
Dude, women got hit.
Oh yeah. There was no problem with women violence in the 1980s.
No.
It was very prevalent throughout this.
Yeah. I could not believe it. First of all, though, like already had a better soundtrack than Point Break immediately as soon as it opened.
Yeah,
that I have to agree.
Better soundtrack. Yeah. But yeah, she stabs $100 bill
with a knife. By the way,
they're
not that great at bouncing. If there's they didn't like pat people,
missed the knife.
They just
sorry guys, that knife. Yeah, and then he kicks that woman in the stomach. And then they take him out. But the best part, one of the lines, there was a great line as they were going through the bar. This guy throws an American Express down and he goes, put it on some gold plastic. I'm like, what?
Oh my God.
What the fuck was that?
And did you notice the dancing that was going on? It was all gyrating dancing.
Yeah.
They were like, where are these extras coming from? None of them had to have any skill in dancing. They were just we're going to pay you guys like $25 each. You're just going to sit around at a club and just terribly. I mean, maybe they were literally at a club and they just
film people.
Showed how bad white people.
Everyone's that drunk and thinks they're dancing awesome and like, all these people look like jackasses.
It actually looked like the club in Wayne's World.
Oh shit!
Where
you're right.
Where God kills the guy.
Yeah,
you're right.
Somebody. He cattle prodded a human being in that movie.
They didn't have the cooler back then. So
Dalton would not have let him in.
Yeah.
No, you know who the cooler was in Wayne's World? It was Meatloaf, another terrible cooler. So there you go. He anything. He let a guy in with a cattle prod.
But like what we don't know the backstory going in is like, all right, so you see this guy Frank that owns a Double Deuce comes to this club looking for Dalton. Like, how the fuck does he hear about him? Like, that's right away. You're like, he's like, oh, I heard you're the best, and it's like, how the fuck? Where did you hear this? Is there like an underground? It's before the internet. Like, so is there just an underground network where people know who the best fucking cooler in the world is? Like, I'm not aware of this underground bar owners network. It's just a weird concept.
Yeah. Like, what are they letter writing to each other or like on the
this
phone?
guy's
like,
great.
And of course,
like,
and he's from Missouri.
No first name, Dalton.
And he's from like a little town in Missouri. How does this guy afford Dalton? Like Dalton's in the Manhattan. Like at that time, that was like high-end saloon. A saloon.
No, saloon, cocktail, saloon. But did you hear how much money he said? When he's like asking him how much. He's like, $5,000 up front, $500 a night, pay all medical expenses. And the guy's like, okay. I'm like, wait a second, that's 1989. He was almost getting paid maybe 20 grand a month, like 15 to 20 grand. Like the first month would have been $20,000 if he's working every night, which he probably was going to.
Oh yeah,
obviously.
Yeah.
So he's gonna get $20,000 in 1989 the first month. Like
from a guy who has a bar in Missouri.
But how many days is he there for?
You're also forgetting the fact that as they're having this conversation, he's self-stitching up his fucking arm.
Like, what is he,
the
Rambo?
broad that slashed him with the knife. Because remember, the woman's the one that slashed him with the knife, which makes sense once again. She just got kicked in the stomach by this asshole, and then he goes to throw him out, and she turns around and slashes Dalton.
He gets stabbed, shot, and slashed. Not a facial expression.
Nothing. It's like he doesn't have pain. I think he's a superhero. We don't know this because he has like his body is numb to pain because he doesn't react to anything. No. And they have that stupid joke that running joke, and they probably did this on purpose. Was like, I thought you'd be bigger.
Oh yeah.
Like the whole time is that he's a smaller guy because someone probably was like, we're gonna have Patrick Swayze be a bouncer, and they're like, yeah. So how are we gonna explain that? Well, everybody could just say like, I thought it would be bigger. Yeah.
Yep.
Like
that's why seeing him do pirouettes. Like we're gonna have to explain this like really well because like it's all we've done. Red Dawn. I mean, okay, but no one remembers that. It's 1989. 5 years from then. Like, he's only been dancing. So now we have to really explain this. Like, but he's Rambo style stitching himself up.
Yep.
Like
so he doesn't actually need the $500 for medical expenses.
Yeah,
he just does it himself.
That knife was sharp. Did you see that cut? It's like
it's like perfectly clean. Yeah, perfectly clean.
It opened up like an
Easy
alien
stitching.
was popping out of there.
Dude, and nobody else is helping him. Like he's a loan shark. Like he just goes by himself. Like he sets up these guys, and don't you think like he would have made friends with one of the people that like he was bouncing with, and they would be like, "Dude, let me help you out."
Yeah, I got that, bro. No worries. Yeah.
No,
don't do it by yourself in the back room.
Yeah.
And the boss that he's like working at that place just comes in later after. Yeah. And he's like,
right?
Oh, Studio 54 is all yours. And he's like, what? You leaving me alone with this? He's like, I'm done. He's out of here.
Shit. Like what? It's like he is like a sheriff in a Western that goes from town to town and cleans it up and leaves. Because then he gets his Mercedes Benz. He puts on, first of all, Patrick Swayze wears white a lot in this film. If you're a bouncer, there's blood and dirt everywhere. Like he should have forgotten like the medical expenses. He should have been asked for dry cleaning because
a lot of his money went to these awesome shirts. One of the shirts that he had on looked like a gi.
A gi.
Yes, I wrote that down. I wrote it down. I'm like, why is he wearing a karate gi as a shirt? It's later when he goes into Reds for the first time. It's a karate gi shirt.
Yeah, I'm like, this guy's just wearing this like normally, like walking down the street like in Missouri. Like,
well, I mean that's the thing. Let's talk about the fact that he is set up. He's working in New York at this big ass club, and this guy comes from bumfuck middle of nowhere and is like, "Hey man, you want to come work in fucking Missouri?" And he's like, "Let's do it, bro. Sign me up."
Let's do it, bro.
And then he just gives his car to the homeless guy before jumping in his Mercedes. He's like, "Here, keep it."
That guy was in Weird Science. He was in the bar. He was in a bar scene when they first made the woman in Weird Science.
Oh, really?
And he goes, his line in Weird Science, he's sitting there with a cigar in his mouth, and he goes, "Drink it." That's his line, I think, in Weird Science, and that's it. And then here, he's on the street, and he goes, "Here, keep it." Like this guy is like, He's cleaning up.
Dude, he's such a nomad because it just so happens that guy comes and offers him a job the day he's planning on leaving, or is he just like knows when it's time to go?
I think he's just like, fuck this place. I just got stabbed, or like I don't know. Like
no, because like his thing, even when he tells this, I don't even know the owner's name.
I think it's Frank. Is that what it is? I wrote it down. Hold on, let's see.
I think it's I don't know, but he looks like a maniac.
He looks insane, and he's a terrible fucking boss. He's
his name
terrible.
is Frank, that guy. Yeah,
Frank, he tells Frank like, once I'm done, it's all your like I'm there for this long, and then I'm out. So this guy like doesn't get attached to any place that he works for. Apparently,
no.
It just so happens that we're now watching the one place that he fucking does, because I don't know how, but it just happens. But
I love how he explained the place to him, and he totally was into it. Like Patrick Swayze was like, yeah, sure. He goes, now it's the kind of place they sweep up the eyeballs after closing. And Patrick Swayze was like, sign me up, let's go. It's like,
yeah, that sounds amazing.
Eyeballs. What the fuck? Why isn't that place closed down?
Yeah.
Well, no, you know how he found out. Now I remember. The lead singer and guitar player, the blind guy.
Why the fuck does Jeff Healey know him?
He knows him
from some other shithole.
From playing at another bar. Yeah. This guy's a traveling musician.
Yeah, because what does he say? He's like, if you thought that place we worked in, blah blah blah, was bad, this place is 10 times worse. Or something like that. And I was like, what the fuck?
So apparently the blind guy only goes to shitty fucking places.
Well, maybe that's how Frank found out about Dalton, is the blind guy told him about him. Maybe that's how it is. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Maybe the blind guy is his pimp, and he gets him new jobs.
He just goes to the shitty bars around the country.
He just goes to shitty bars, and he's like,
hire my
get
friend
this guy Dalton.
Get this guy Dalton.
He'll fucking make everything better.
Yeah, he's awesome. Dalton.
Dude, how about the first, like, because, he leaves New York, he drives out there, and when he first pulls up at the bar, like, my first thought was, how does anyone that owns this shithole, like, even, like, have the money to fly to New York, let alone pay this guy's fucking salary? I'm like, dude, this is like a bar, I'd be like, yeah, keep fucking driving. I'm not going to this place.
Did you see that place? We've been into some weird bars. I think all of us would say, like, we've been into bars. It's like, that's kind of questionable. I saw this, like, people look like they were doing heroin in the corner of this bar. I was just like,
what they were. Yeah. No,
they bought it from that bartender that was selling it, that chick.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
First of all, there was a gate in front of the stage.
Yeah.
In the opening scene.
Just like
this is what was crazy about this movie. Like, it's just like did they base this on a movie that a bar they've been to? Like, people were beating the shit out of each other.
As soon as he walks in,
Like, as soon as he walks in, people beating each other. They're throwing bottles at the band, and the band's just like blind guys just playing along, getting fucking sprayed by beer and stuff like that. Yeah. And like, it looks like a high school / auditorium / like.
What high school did you go to?
There's a part where it looks like the part where the boss's like office is reminds me of some like going up to like the principal's office or somewhere like in like a in like City Guys. Dan.
Yes.
Oh
my God.
This is why I wrote, like I said, from the first moment we see this bar, it appears people only come to this bar to fight. Do bars even exist like this? What the fuck is this? Like,
that's all they did.
He walks in and there's people fighting, and Diamond Dallas Page works there.
Yeah, Diamond Dallas Page.
Like, what the? It was distracting. I was like, oh God, this guy.
As soon as he walked into that bar, you're right. They started fighting, and he just stands there, and he's just like,
yeah. Did you hear what they said when they first, when he first gets there with the car? There's like this one guy who mumbles. He's like, "What? Detroit's not good enough for you?"
Oh yeah, I did.
Something like that, because he's in a Mercedes. Which then this is why he does this all the time, obviously, because he gets the shitty car.
Yep.
He goes to the shitty car and gets tires right away.
That was hilarious.
Like, he just like sets himself up, like knowing what's gonna happen.
I love that part. I mean, that was actually a running gag throughout the whole film that I thought was amazing, because
where they keep fucking his car.
Oh my God, when he had to like pull the stop sign out of it. I mean,
that was great.
Oh my God, I love that part.
He's like the Zen Buddhist. Like, I feel like he brought this character to Point Break.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
oh my God,
it's
yeah.
like there's that scene
Yeah.
which we'll get to that I'm just like, why is this in here? Why are we watching this?
One of my favorite scenes.
Yep.
My favorite part of that scene is the farmer's reaction. That is like,
Yep.
Dude, but
I'm
there
not
was
sure if
another
he's
great
like
line.
shocked or if he wants to fuck him because he's like,
Or both, man.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Dude, first, there was another great line in that bar. Like that woman who, what was her? One woman walks up to the bar and she goes, "Hey, vodka." Oh, she orders a vodka.
Oh, yeah.
The guy next to her, who I thought was a guy from Ghost that teaches Patrick Swayze how to like throw stuff and punch people. I was like,
oh yeah, it kind of looks like, yeah.
"Hey, vodka rocks. What do you say we get nipple to nipple?" I'm like, what?
Well, but you missed. Did you hear her response to that? She goes, "I can do that myself."
Yeah.
But first, what is that chick doing in that bar? Like, it's
What
like
are any women doing
like
in this bar?
yes, that's a good question. But it's like a total shithole. People are fighting, and here's this like hot chick wearing like a small white dress. I'm like, this one thing does not belong here, and it's her.
No. Yeah.
It makes no sense at all. And
You're talking about
instantly,
the blonde
Dawn walks
chick,
in
right?
and she wants to fuck him. Like
Yeah,
instantly.
Immediately.
Like, yeah.
Immediately. And
Yeah,
that girl,
she doesn't look like she's part of that whole crew. Anyone there? She's
No, not at all.
She's
She
not
looks like
with
they pulled her
anybody.
from like Playboy in 1989 and threw her into the. That's probably what they did.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
weird scienced her. She like jumped out of a
Hmm?
magazine. They just threw her in that film because I was like,
Threw.
first of all, I think I'm going to go back to the original question. Why are there any women in this bar?
Yes,
This is a
very-
dangerous place for any woman. Because
It's
and then
a
there's
dangerous place for anybody.
For anyone.
Unless you're Diamond Dallas Page. That's about it.
First of all, that actress actually was in Point Break also.
Oh, was she?
She's the girl who beats the shit out of Keanu Reeves. She was naked in the shower when they do that, when they go through that house where
Oh my God, she's the one that's screaming the whole time?
and she beats the shit out of Keanu Reeves naked. That is the same actress.
That's funny, man.
Dude, she's
What,
had
titties
an
hanging out the
amazing
whole time?
career. An amazing career. She's like stunt coordinator now and does all these amazing things. She's
Oh, wow.
is amazing.
Yeah.
But then there's that weird waitress that comes out of like nowhere. The brunette one who's like,
That's
hey,
kind
blah,
of-
blah, blah. Like she's from Gilmore Girls, I think, as well.
Well,
Yeah,
she's
you're like,
supposed
and he's like, please stop fucking talking to me. Like,
Yeah.
leave me alone. Like it's his vibe right away, and she's not picking up on it at all.
No.
You have
But
a
she's
name?
like the
Yes.
comic relief. Is that what it is? Like, you know,
Maybe.
Bro,
because like she comes and gives him coffee.
Yeah, that was with a shitty donut. Like,
Yeah.
why does she know where he lives?
Yeah,
the
that was
scene
also creepy.
crazy.
yeah, I didn't get that.
And I didn't get
yeah.
their reaction together. I was like, what was the point of her?
I
Maybe
think the
'cause-
whole point of that was to see Patrick Swayze's ass.
Which
Yeah.
was hilarious because the best part is like she walks up there and he goes, "Oh shit," and then he doesn't want her there, so he's like, "Let me just get out of bed. I'm naked. Here's my ass." No underwear, puts pants on. First of all, no one is wearing underwear in this film.
Nope.
He's not wearing underwear. Sam Elliott's not wearing.
Nope. You see a full pube shot from Sam Elliott later.
Yeah.
Elliott shot. I'm like, whoa, no. I'm like, you just don't throw jeans on. Like,
It doesn't feel. It doesn't even comfortable. I'd be like,
No.
oh man, the zipper is chafing.
yeah,
And
this is
didn't someone
terrible.
become shirtless at one point? There was like shirtless people at the bar.
Oh,
They
yeah,
were
I
like,
get
they were just shirtless.
Yeah,
Just like
random
hanging
dude,
out.
just no shirt. Yeah.
There was a shirtless guy at the bar dancing. in the
Yes, you're
middle.
right. Yep.
And then there was the other guy who said to the other two weirdos, like, "Hey, you have $20 to kiss my like girlfriend's boobs?" And all he does is he
Oh, and he has like the most awkward grabbing. Like
Oh.
he's just like,
there's some
I'm
problem.
like, is this the first time this man's ever touched breasts?
Well, there was a problem, and then he's like, he didn't have $20, and then
Yeah.
there's a fight. Like,
Well, but
You
then
guys know that this is the only this is the first 5 minutes of
yeah,
walking
this
into
is
You
not
literally-
even
this is
10
5 minutes into the
film.
movie,
This
yeah.
is literally like not even 10 minutes into.
I actually, yeah, I'm noticing now, Manny. I have in my notes. Why is there a dude dancing with no shirt on? And also, do you notice when he says Dalton, it's like how like Bond, James Bond, like it's
Yeah,
how he says
oh.
that. He's like, "What's your name?" He's like, Dalton. People are like, "Oh shit!" Like,
shit, it's him.
like
It's
everyone's heard of this motherfucker.
all the guys,
even
all the,
even
this,
the
this is like over the top, where everyone hears of arm wrestlers. Like no one knows any arm wrestlers. This is literally like over the top in that way. Where it's like, oh, Dalton. All the bouncers there like know him. Like, oh, Dalton. It's like,
It's Dalton.
why do you know
That's Dalton?
him? It's like,
Yeah.
And then Jeff Healey has to be like, his name is Dalton. It's just like good. And he was like, look pissed. He's like, why the fuck did you say that, bro? Like, don't do that.
Well, but then when the fight breaks out, it's not like just a fight. The bouncers themselves destroy the entire fucking bar. Like, the bouncers are responsible for destroying the bar. They break all the tables. They're fucking throwing people into bottles. It's like, wait, aren't you supposed to get them out of the bar, not destroy the place?
And Jeff Healey's still playing. Like,
Yeah, and Dalton's just standing there watching.
yeah, he's just like drinking coffee.
Well, he didn't get paid yet. Like,
Yeah,
he was just watching.
He's just
observing.
assessing the situation.
Yeah, he's like, this is what I do. And the boss, like, you would think the boss would be like, yo, I fucking paid you a deposit. Like, what the fuck? You're not doing anything right now.
He walks out. Like, I think he just walks out or something. Yeah.
I think he's there because then I wrote down, this is a great one-liner. Dallas Diamond Page goes up to him and says, after the fight, when he didn't get in, he says, I heard you had balls big enough to come in a dump truck, but you don't look like much to me. And he says, opinions vary. Like, what is that? Who even says that line? What? Like, that's like, there's so many lines in this movie where you're like, who the fuck would even say that?
Dude.
Yeah. Somebody calls somebody a peckerhead. Another time they're in the urinal and someone's like, I gotta drain the main vein. I'm like,
Jeff,
why are you even saying all this?
Who says that?
Why are these sayings just coming out of here?
Another woman gets punched during that fight though. She breaks a bottle over a guy's head, and then a guy just decks her in the face. I'm just like, what is happening?
Or how about the guy that's just laughing like a maniacal jackass at the bar and then takes a fucking bottle to the face?
I thought that was Randy Quaid. I was like, is that Randy Quaid? It looked like Randy Quaid for a second.
That would have been a good cameo if it was.
Everyone, and then again, I think a knife comes out.
Yeah, of course.
People just have knives.
Yeah.
That's
what people do in Missouri, I guess.
And like Patrick Swayze smoked more cigarettes than I've ever fucking seen somebody smoke. I mean, I understand in the 80s and 90s, like cigarettes was part of being in a movie, but I'm like, this dude was just smoking cigarettes all the time.
I think that's what he did in real life too. He was like, I think that's why he died from pancreas cancer, because I think he smoked 3 packs a day for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah,
so it's probably just him. Yeah, but like, that scene where he gets out of the bed and his ass is hanging out. First thing he does is grab his Marlboro Reds and light up.
Yeah, they should have just took a picture and be like, Marlboro Reds, like,
Patrick Swayze's ass.
Flavor mornings. This is like Patrick Swayze's ass. Like, I'm just like,
dude, even when I used to smoke, I can't even imagine just like waking up and literally the first thing you do is be like, like
not even water, no water. I didn't see anyone drink any water in this movie.
No, not at all.
Black coffee and smoked Marlboro Reds,
dude. And like, he never drank. He only drank when his friend showed up. If you notice, like he always asked for coffee, and only was drinking when his friend and like when he was with the doctor. But like, they actually asked him. I couldn't believe that he did all these scenes, because they said that at one point he commented that he didn't think he was going to live through the movie.
Yeah,
the making of the movie.
Because he was just getting his ass kicked the whole time.
I know.
He gets his ass kicked like Rocky. Like, I mean, he takes a beating. I was just like,
he got sliced the first 2 minutes of the movie. He gets sliced open.
There must be glass in everyone's drinks too, because like there's glass everywhere. There's no way anyone's washing anything there. People are drinking glass shards. Like, it's gross. That whole place is more than gross. Like,
dude, the original tagline to this movie was going to be, "The dancing is over. Now let's get dirty."
That would have been great. Oh my God.
See, you could only do stuff like that in the 80s. I feel like
if you did that, if you did that now, people be like, nah, bro,
you can't do that.
Because you were going to see a movie because of I mean, they still do this now, but you're really only going to see those movies back then because of who was in it, right?
Yep.
Like, they made the movie based on the movie star. Now it's like, even with like, all right, Iron Man, you know who it is, but like, people still like that character of Iron Man. Like, back then it was like Patrick Swayze, Keanu Reeves.
I'll watch whatever piece of shit this is.
Like Tom Cruise, Cocktail. Like, it always was the character, the superstar's name first, and then the movie's title. Like, there's it's never like the movie title first. It's like, you'll watch whatever piece of shit it is because it's Patrick Swayze.
Well, as soon as I saw Patrick Swayze, to me, knowing Patrick Swayze was in this film, to me, that was point one. I was just like, sold. I'm here. I'm here to watch this. The same thing with like, Point Break. As soon as when the first time I ever saw Point Break, I was like, Swayze's in this shit? Fuck. Let's fucking watch
check it
this
out.
shit.
Dude, he killed it
Keanu Reeves
in Point Break. He loses his mind in Point Break. Well, he kind of loses his mind in this too.
Dude, he is a Zen master in this. Like, he is more in tune with everything in this film. Like, I don't know. Like, But we won't talk about 10 minutes of the film already.
Yeah, I mean, you see that whole opening scene. He goes to the bar, blah, blah, blah. Now he needs to find a place to live. And he just happens to find a place that's right across the river from the main bad guy in the film. Yeah. Like, how fucking convenient is that?
Yeah.
Well, really, the town is like 5 houses.
Yeah. It's like Fairfield Avenue in Mineola, Manny. Like, that's the fucking town.
That's it. Like, the guy owns the whole town.
I mean, look how excited he is. He's excited that JCPenney is coming. I mean, when
that part was great. Yeah, he's like, we got a JCPenney.
That's me. It's like, woo, pennies. Like, what? Are you kidding me, Ben Gazzara? And Ben Gazzara is the fucking villain in this. Give me a goddamn break. Yeah. Like, that was hilarious.
He's very intimidating. Like, why didn't someone just punch him in the face and take over the town themselves? Like,
yeah, we'll talk about the ending, because at the end of this film, I was like, they should have just done this shit in the beginning. Why they going higher? Yeah. Exactly. It's Jasper, Kansas City, Missouri. Like, you're gonna get away with murder. No one gives a fuck. Like, no one cares, right?
Did anyone look up if Jasper, Missouri is a real place, or is it just made up for the film?
Oh, I'm gonna look.
I never thought to check that.
Yeah, there he is, Jasper, Missouri.
All right, so it exists.
Oh, nice. There's a place called the Gallows Bar. Ooh, boy, I don't know about that.
There was a Roadhouse too.
Oh yeah, I think it was straight to video.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've never seen that. And then they talked about remaking it with Ronda Rousey like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Blasphemy. Any remakes of 80s movies are blasphemy.
Oh,
as you talked about in the Point Break one, I watched that. I actually sat through the whole Point Break remake because I was like a 2 a.m. HBO watching, and like I felt dumber for ever having sat through that piece.
Dude, it's fucking terrible.
Oh, it's one of the worst fucking films I've ever seen.
Again, like you're right, Bill. You cannot reboot an 80s movie because
can't capture that
unless you're like doing coke or just born in the cheesiness of the 80s.
Yeah,
it can't be that cheesy anymore. It just can't. It doesn't work. The only thing I will say though, if you've seen Cobra Kai,
amazing.
They have the best balance of perfect cheesiness of the 80s nostalgia to like what shows are now.
Because like they're owning the cheesiness. That's what they're doing. Like they're owning it. Whereas like, like, have you seen the Red Dawn remake? Also fucking terrible.
No,
again, like these are movies that like they existed in that time period they existed in, and they're not great films. Like, look, I'm joking saying Roadhouse is a great film. It's a fucking terrible film, but it's entertaining because it's the whole, like everything you guys talk about in this podcast, like the nostalgia associated with 80s movies, you can't replicate that. That's what Cobra Kai's doing. Is they're actually they're kind of owning it. Like, look, we know you're interested in this because of the nostalgia. So let's just fucking own it and go for it. Was the other people like, let's make Point Break as if it was a real movie that existed today. Like no one fucking asked for that, bro. Like no one wants to see that. Like
but that's
they could have done like a really good job of doing it if they like continued it, but like put people that we care that are in it. Like the people that are in it, no offense to them.
I've never heard of them.
They meant nothing to us. Like and,
it was just like a bunch of extreme sports people like doing a bunch of drugs and stealing things. Like it was
But the thing about these movies is, and I will say, I believe that I don't think that they thought they were being cheesy. I think they were like they were just like, this is serious. We're making a fucking movie about a bouncer, and this is what we're doing. And I think because they took it seriously, we think it's cheesy, but it came off like they were like, no, we're doing this shit. Like it's authentic to them. Like that's what it is.
No, that's a good point, Dan. I mean, look at any like Schwarzenegger movie, like or Stallone movie. Like they probably thought this was not cheesy at all, and then you watch it 20 years later, you're like, oh my fucking god, are you kidding me? You know?
When they made Rocky IV, they weren't going, all right, we're gonna make something cheesy. They were like, no, man, like this is serious.
Dude, Rocky IV is not cheesy.
Rocky IV is amazing.
You better watch your fucking mouth.
But when he goes, so back to this, like when he goes to get a place. And he's talking to, I thought that guy had a hook for an arm, actually, immediately. Like, I literally thought that guy had a hook on a hand. I was like, oh, boy. But shows him the place, and he goes, I don't know if you could afford it. It's $100 a month. I'm like, what?
This guy's getting paid $500 a day.
A night. He's getting $500 a night, $100 a month. He looks like he's coming out of Miami Vice most of the time. He's got like a fucking white.
He's so shiny in every scene. Everyone else is dull, and Patrick Swayze is like glittering.
Nice tan. His hair is perfectly coiffed.
But he's so like his line delivery is just so quiet. Like when the guy goes, "Hey, you like horses?" and he's like, "If they like me," I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah,
dude, he is perfectly dead. You're right. He was perfectly zen in this movie.
Yep.
Like he would just say like one-liners. Like he had like no major monologue. Only when he was like talking to the crew when he like fires everybody the next day.
I love that
like,
part.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's my way or the highway.
Yeah. Yeah, but I love when the helicopter came to drop off Ben Gazzara. It was like the A-Team. It was like I was like, what is happening here? And it's like, what does he need this helicopter for? This guy is a dick. But it was so funny to see how you're right, Billy, how like funny it was that he got a room right across the lake from the main villain. Like the he lives across the lake from him now.
Right there.
Like, give me a
well, it was like foreshadowing back then, right? Like they need to still tell a story. So like back then, movies like you need to set up the like what's going on.
Yeah.
Where's the villain? Who's the good guy?
Yeah.
And then like so that was the perfect way to do it. Like they
it was like foreshadowing if we're all really dumb.
Yeah. and like don't forget the girlfriend was the one that hit on him right in the beginning, and she was the only, I guess, classy quote unquote girl in the woman in that bar. Like she's the only one that's like glowing. Everyone else is like
wearing a white dress, like focused on this lady. Yeah.
Dude, she's the worst.
Well, how much of a dick is Ben Gazzara that he has to just fuck with this poor farmer that lives across from him by buzzing his property with a helicopter? Yeah. Like, he's just a fucking asshole because, like, there's no reason. And we never, like, no one ever tells us, like, the impetus for why he's such a dick. It's not like this happened, that happened. Like, he's just a fucking asshole because, like, that's it. That's it. That's his motivation because like that's all.
We only get one kind of understanding about it when like Patrick Swayze goes over to see him and he sees that picture which looked like from the Civil War and he goes, "Yeah, it's my grandfather." And he's like, "Oh, he looks like an important person." And Ben Gazzara's like, "He's an asshole." It's like, and then that's it. That's all we know. His grandfather is an asshole, and he's like, "I grew up in Chicago on the tough streets." It's like, what? No, you did. Like, so wait, are you saying you're like rags to riches here, or like you're a criminal, obviously? Like, so and then you came here to take.
I think he came back because didn't he like follow the doctor, and then like they broke up?
They did allude to that, yeah. But do they even tell us why he's rich, or did they? I can't remember if they even mentioned why he's so rich. Like,
no,
he's just a rich guy.
You don't need to know that.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's a helicopter.
This movie's just about fighting.
Hey, all right, fair enough.
This movie is a video game. If they made a Roadhouse,
this movie's about the Sopranos in Missouri.
Pretty much.
This is like Streets of Rage, the video game. You just beat the fuck out of people, like level to level. This is that movie. Like everything is just like beat.
And you don't die because somehow you just don't.
Yeah. No, you just get stabbed or shot, so the blood stains your bright white shirt and really contrasts well.
Amazing. I love when Swayze goes the next day to like lay down the law now, and he comes with like he's got a turtleneck on or whatever, and one of the guys goes, he's telling him you got to be nice, you're gonna be nice to everyone, and the guy goes, "What if someone calls my mama a whore?" He's like, "Is she?"
It was great, yeah.
Everything he said was gold. It was fucking gold.
Yeah, somebody got called a chicken dick.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I remember. What kind of an insult is that? What is it? What is a chicken dick? I've never heard that insult.
Never. I was just like, what? Like, I mean, there's something that says like, if someone gets in your face and calls you a cocksucker, I want you to be nice. It's like, okay, like these are the rules of being a good bouncer. Like, be nice, take it outside, or don't take it outside, something else, and then be nice or whatever. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I was waiting for like a cocktail type, like Coughlin's Law, like, lay down of some weird philosophical shit, because he's supposed to be like a PhD, like a philosophy PhD. There was nothing philosophical about his rules. Nothing. It was like, be nice, shut the fuck up, and like take it outside.
Do your job, motherfucker.
And dude, it took like
Yeah.
one night for them to all like fall in line.
Oh
And
yeah,
I was like,
they got
where's
right
the
in line.
you know where they messed up? They could have made like a montage scene, like
Oh,
of like the
yeah,
bar
you're
getting
right.
better.
It's that,
Yeah.
You know, they missed out on it because like
yeah, it's a good point, Manny.
you
That would
could-
have been
like
awesome.
it would have been great if like Brody. I mean, I know he's not Brody.
Bodie
Bodie.
did this in that episode too.
I know I did, but imagine like he was like, "All right, we're gonna go train," because like none of the bouncers knew how to fight like he did.
No.
But it would have been great if you had like the fat guy like doing like fucking yoga moves and stuff like that,
I
and like
wish.
also showing them like redo the bar because all of a sudden the bar goes from like a shithole
Yeah, to Chili's.
to like.
Yep, it's got the
Saloon.
fancy sign that's on my shirt. You know, it's like where'd that come from? Where'd they get the money for this?
Oh my god,
Well, dude, he has enough. The owner has enough money to fucking pay Dalton $500 a day. What is he paying his bouncers?
Nothing. Jack shit.
Yeah, they're not getting anything. Are
Jack
you kidding
shit.
me? Yeah, they all. I want to know where any of these people live, but like,
And like right away,
Yeah.
like no one knows that the bartender's skimming.
Yeah, well, they're all clearly inept. Like it's he's the only smart person that's there. It's driving home the point that like he's from New York, so clearly he's better and smarter than everyone else in this place.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
even smarter than the boss, who only is drinking the whole time. The boss is
I don't see the
terrible.
boss actually do any boss things.
Nothing.
Except hire Dalton.
Yeah.
Dalton is like bar rescue. Like literally, that's what he's not. He wasn't
But better.
bar rescue. Yeah, this should have been like. This is probably like when they got the idea. Like, oh, you know, except we're not going to beat the fuck out of people. We're going to go in there, fix the computer systems and the molding and paint the place, and that's it. But we're not going to kill anybody.
We're not going to beat the shit out of everyone.
No one's going to die. I mean, no explosions. Bigfoot, the fucking truck. Bigfoot's not going to come in and do anything. Which that was weird.
Dude, that's what I was going to say. Wait. You said Bigfoot. Why is Bigfoot in this movie? Like, who owns Bigfoot? Bro,
they
somebody
were hiding.
actually, it's like no one knew it didn't have Bigfoot in it. Somebody was literally just driving around in that town.
The best part was
with the Bigfoot as their car.
Yeah.
Like, imagine having to go get groceries with that stupid shit.
I can't get the groceries up there.
My favorite part was when they were in the
like that car's not practical unless you're running over fucking things.
Well, that's all they used it for.
No, I understand that. That car is just like, when I saw that, I was like, wait, someone just has that as their car? Like the Bigfoot car is their car. Like
I love.
Well, because they wanted to put a scene where Bigfoot runs over cars.
Great scene.
And everybody's just watching. The whole town's like, yeah. Like
everyone in town sucks. Like,
they're all terrible human beings. Well, that's my question. Are there any people that live in this town besides Brad Wesley, the 3 small business owners, and the degenerates that go to the Double Deuce? Like, does anyone else actually live here? Because I did not see anyone else.
No.
The doctor.
No.
Like, she lives somewhere.
Maybe it's just a town of like 200 scumbags, and that's the only people that live here.
Well, what was funny was to me, like, as Ben Gazzara, like, is like Brett. What is his name in the movie? Brad
Wesley.
Brad Wesley. He
and what the fuck? I almost said Keanu Reeves. Patrick Swayze says Brad Wesley very, very seriously.
Yeah.
When he calls his friend.
Yeah, but he
Wait, he has a degree from a philosophy from
NYU. He's an NYU PhD. Like, that's his character.
That's what his medical file tells the doctor.
Yeah. Oh my God. The only time you find out his first name is James. They call this guy by his last name the whole time, like in Cobra. Like, literally, you never know his name until like towards the end of the movie, where it's like Marion. But the whole time we're calling him Cobra. This guy's name is Dalton. It's like he's a cologne. And like, we don't even understand that he has a first name. I thought he had a last name. That they were calling him by his last name the whole time.
Dude,
so what were you saying about Ben Gazzara, though, Pico, where you said like Brad Wesley?
He is destroying the businesses that are paying him protection.
Yeah.
So,
he doesn't know how to be the mafia.
No.
He's literally going in there being like, they're not listening to me. And he's like throwing a tantrum, destroying and blowing everything up. And it's like probably like afterwards, like, oh, fuck. They were paying protection money. Damn it. Like, oh well, I guess I'll just keep destroying this town. Like,
Yeah.
Or how is he even getting rich off these 3 shithole businesses paying him protection money? Like, oh, the fucking mom and pop hardware store didn't pay me 10% this week, so I'm out $200.
10% of the of what the windshield they're ordering from Patrick Swayze and a new antenna.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
There's
what?
$5.
Here, you could have given them. They blew that place up. Oh my god. Oh my.
Well,
god.
they blew up that place because it's what's her name's uncle.
The most.
Well, first of all, let's
boring.
rewind here. We didn't even. So he fires a bunch of people. He gets them in line.
And then we do the reopening.
Now the reopening's happening. Everyone's
One of
having
my
a good
favorite
time.
scenes happens.
What's this one?
Go ahead. No, go.
No, I don't. I'm trying to remember where we're at. He
Well,
didn't
they
get
open
stabbed
it-
yet to go to the doctor yet.
No, not yet.
No,
So
no.
is that they do the opening night? That's where he fires the bartender for skimming, and that's also where, just in case you didn't get the one hot chick in the bar wants to sleep with him, she comes up and says, "Would you be shocked if I said let's go to my place and fuck? It's not going to kill you. You may even like it." Just in case it wasn't apparent yet, they have to put that line in there for her.
Yeah. But the other funny thing that happens, like that one bouncer who gets fired after that, he gets fired that night, lets in 2 underage girls, and then he's banging one of them in the storage closet. But for some reason, he has all his clothes off.
But naked.
He's totally naked. Why is he naked?
With the door unlocked.
With the door locked. The girl, not naked, but this guy, it's like, all right, when I do this, I need to get all my clothes off. And then Patrick Swayze opens the door. He's like, you're out of here. Like, totally unfazed. And the guy pulls up his underwear, which looks like, I guess, a diaper or tighty whitey. It was the weirdest thing. I was like,
Well, he
what?
was wearing underwear at least, so.
That was the weirdest thing, that he was wearing underwear, the guy who wanted to get naked quickly. But, Patrick Swayze and Sam Elliott, no underwear. None. No underwear. But that was the weirdest scene. I was like, what am I watching right now? And let's all understand, that girl was underage, so we have no idea how old she was.
Yeah.
So that was fucking creepy as fuck. And then,
then he says, but I'm on my break.
He's like, stay on it. It's like, stay on it. It's like, my break, bro. I work. Like, what is going on here? Like, that place is a hellhole.
You know what else is a good line? I forget who Dalton says it to, but I wrote it down here because during that, he says to someone, "You're too stupid to have a good time." So the one-liners just flying all over the place. It's hard to even remember. I was trying to write them down, and there's just too many of them.
I couldn't.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere. I was doing the same thing, Billy, because I was like, I can't. It says, does a hobby horse have a wooden dick?
Yeah, wait, I wrote that one down. Yeah, he said something like, does a hobby horse have a wooden dick? I was just like, what?
I totally missed that one. Jesus.
Who wrote that? Like, who sat down and wrote that?
There's one line that says, I used to fuck guys like you. That was the guy.
That's
Okay.
like the culmination of the film.
I don't know what when they were writing the script and they got to that part, you had all these amazing one-liners, and you're gonna have this like crazy fight, and you have the guy go, "I fuck guys like you in prison." It's like, no, let's revise that line.
It doesn't even make sense.
It could have been anything else.
Is he basically calling him a bitch? Is that what he's saying? I guess.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I was like, so can't we erase that line and go, "I'm gonna kill you now"? Like anything else.
Prepare to die.
Yeah, prepare to die, or
who was the guy who played that? Who played that character?
I think he was.
I don't know. He looked like he belonged in like Scarface or something.
I think he was an actual fighter. He was an actual kickboxer.
Yeah, well, that's why they both apparently.
Yeah.
He was taken with Patrick Swayze, and
oh man,
he actually wanted to fight him.
Yeah, he was like, he was glad that there was like 2 good fighters.
I love at the end of that scene where they finish their first night, and it's they have the fights or whatever, blah blah blah. They throw people out, and I think there's a scene where the guy has his girlfriend dance on the table, and they tell him to get down. The guy whips out a fucking knife because everyone has a knife once again.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the night, they're like, the owner's like, it was a good night. Nobody died. And Patrick Swayze's like, it'll get worse before it gets better. I'm like, dude, it's a bar. You're not fucking fighting a war here. Jeez. Christ. Like, what do you mean it's going to get worse? What's going to happen? Like,
And why? There's no other place these people could go to.
Apparently
That's why-
not. I mean,
That's why they were definitely just doing like crack there. Because like, why are people going there if people are dying? Like,
yeah, it's like,
people are
That's
dying.
the
Like,
question.
and like,
Did people die there before? Like, it's like, ooh, this was a good
why
night.
is this place open?
No one died. No one died. Okay, so prior to Patrick Swayze getting there, how many people died in the bar nightly? Like, what was going on there? I guess
hey
it
guys,
comes
you want to
over.
go grab some beers at the Double Deuce? We may get fucking stabbed in the throat, but I really feel like getting drunk tonight.
It's like, ooh, yeah. It's like you can't
dude,
go to
this
it.
movie was
home.
nominated for worst picture, worst director, worst screenplay, worst actor, and worst supporting actor. They didn't win any of them.
But I will say this, Manny. Once again, I'm going to tell you, better Rotten Tomatoes rating than Cocktail. 35%.
Fuck you! I know this. All right?
Really?
This is
Wow.
Cocktail got a
bullshit.
5%.
I would
rating,
agree
really.
with that. I think this is a better film than Cocktail. That's just
You
me.
better watch your mouth.
That's just me.
Watch
I mean,
your
look,
mouth,
I'm
Billy.
not knocking you, Manny. You're allowed to
It's
have your
basically
opinion.
the same fucking movie. Okay,
Nah,
except there's no knives.
Yeah, but I just Patrick Swayze. I can buy him. I just like him much better than Tom Cruise.
Really?
Yeah, not a big Tom Cruise fan.
Oof.
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 I think he's in some good movies. Don't get me wrong. I like Cocktail. I'm not saying I dislike it. I just like this better. I'm a big fan of really cheesy '80s movies, which this clearly.
So what do you feel about like Days of Thunder?
I'll be honest with you. I've never seen Days of Thunder. Yeah,
There's
never
a
seen it.
great
I remember
line.
I remember everyone talking about it in like 4th grade, but I've never actually seen it.
That movie is cheesy as fuck, crazy, and then one of the best line is, "You look like you guys look like a monkey fucking a football." Which is like, why is that a line that people
Literally,
say?
there were a bunch of people in the 80s that just did a bunch of coke and wrote terrible one-liners, and then they actually made their way into films.
I really wish that like late 80s to 90s, people were just like, you want to make that movie? Fuck it, let's do it. I mean, I was thinking about it the other day, like how even that movie Short Circuit. So now,
Oh my god,
now
fucking
that
great
movie's
movie.
crazy.
Johnny Five.
It's garbage.
If you even think
It's total garbage.
we're gonna have a trash can
Then they made
drive
2
around.
of them.
Two of
They
them.
made 2 of them. The second one was even worse.
Oh,
But,
it's great. It was
but
in the
the-
city.
But the thing is,
He
that
turns
you
to
can't
gold
make
at
that
the
movie.
end.
You can't make that movie now. You can't make that
No.
movie.
Nope.
Or The
You guys
Wizard.
ever seen Batteries Not Included?
Oh yeah, with
No,
Jessica
no.
Tandy
That
and
fucking movie was
great film.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or
Great
like
film.
The Wizard. You can't make that movie now.
No.
No.
Oh, The Wizard
No.
was a terrible movie. If that movie has better ratings than Cocktail.
Or the Flight of the Navigator. That was the other one.
Billy, I get what you mean, because like I understand, like, so Cocktail was cheesy, but it was like almost too serious.
It's still
for
like a
itself.
movie. Like this, I don't even look
Yeah.
at. I don't look at Roadhouse as a movie. It's just like schlock, Like whereas like for the same reasons I love Rocky IV, I love this movie because it's like pure '80s cheese.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like it's.
I was thinking of Rocky IV when I
It's
was
fight
watching
scene
it,
after
too.
fight scene.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. I
that's
mean,
what it
it's
is.
not as much a music video like Rocky IV is, but still, it's like you don't take this movie seriously. Where Cocktail, you sit down and like there's a story they're trying to tell that's not ridiculous about a bouncer. Like it's like
But
an
it's
actual
Yeah.
story. And
I
that's
wanna
I
go-
still like it. It's just to me, this is like how people will watch like Food Network because it's mindless TV. This is like mindless for me. Like I could fucking throw this movie on at any time, and it's just like background noise and entertains me and like makes me forget about whatever bullshit's going on. Like that's why I love '80s movies because that's that's what they do.
Yeah. You're right. It is like an action film in that every scene is like a new reason to put some sort of person getting hit or explosion or
a ridiculous line. Yeah.
And then ridiculous line or let's get to the point where he gets stabbed and now he's in the hospital.
Yeah.
And this doctor who's supposed to be professional, who is the actress who is actually in Cocktail. She was married to Coughlin, who it wasn't even supposed to be her, but
It
was Kelly Lynch is her name?
Yeah.
Kelly
It
Lynch.
was supposed to be Annette Bening. It was supposed to be Annette Bening, actually. Which makes some sense to me. I have no
whatever. So most unprofessional doctor ever.
Totally.
Because it reminded me of Days of Thunder, because if you saw Days of Thunder, Bill, you didn't, but Tom Cruise has to go to the doctor after a big accident, Nicole Kidman, and she falls in love with him. And I'm like, These are the most unprofessional doctors in the world, Nate. He's like, he goes in there one time. Like, you what? No other. I guess there's no other men there.
In Jasper,
Like, she used to
Missouri,
date.
probably not.
She used to
Dude, if you
date
were a woman, would
the
you want to date
asshole,
any
the
of those
rich guy.
guys? No, there's no one that you could go out with if you're a woman
She
in
was just
Jasper.
happy that he was a philosophy major. He's
Once
like,
again,
"Oh, I
thank
gotta-"
God that was in his medical file, or she never
Yeah.
would have known.
Yeah,
You know,
like
I don't know
And
about
he
you,
shows up
but
with medical
I
files.
have my resume in my medical file just in case you need it. You know.
yeah, I put like a snippet.
Well,
of
this is before the internet,
right in
so
my
this is
medical
what his.
file.
Yeah.
Well, didn't he get sent to the hospital from the stab wound because the guy that he fired comes back to murder him because he lost his job as a bartender?
Okay,
Which is a totally reasonable reaction.
That scene was amazing because that scene was so funny because there's a bouncer there that works there who his only role is to get the crap beat out of him. He comes in there and that fat guy just starts pounding on him, and then the other guy who's like half of what Patrick Swayze is comes in and starts beating up someone. But this guy pulls a knife out. That I was like, where's that knife?
It's like
Where's
that long.
Whoa. It's like a bayonet. He's like
He
pulled it
got
out.
that shit from
Like,
Crocodile
like,
Dundee.
Yeah,
He's like,
that's not a
that's
knife.
a knife. Yeah.
Yeah, someone needs a gun. There's like one gun in Jasper, and then all of a sudden there's a bunch of guns. But like, I was just like,
In the hunting room.
yeah, like what is happening here? So he tries to kill him. He slashes him. That cut looked like his intestines should have fell out. Like, I mean,
It was just enough to soak his white shirt, though, Dan.
yeah, just enough
His
to soak
gi.
his gi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
His
that was
gi.
the morning he went to that store, the auto. And one of my other favorite lines when he's talking to the guy in the auto shop, and he goes something about, "Well, how'd you get stuck here?" He's like, "Well, I married someone." He's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "What'd he say?" He's like, "I got
He married
married."
an ugly woman. Oh.
I mean, so
God.
the best part is like, so Patrick Swayze is always like, look, he seems to be like, he absorbs everything. So he's like watching what's going on at the auto shop. He's watching, he's talking to the doctor. He's kind of like whatever. He invites her to the show.
Why would you
And,
do
like,
that?
And like she's the only second classy woman that shows up, like
Yeah.
watches the fight, and like she just is like, oh hey, like you're a doctor. Why are you falling
What are
in
you
love with
doing
this?
here? This guy,
Like,
this
run
guy is
away.
trash.
Literal. He's like a swindler. Like he's like going from town to town, like cleaning
Taking
up bars.
people's money. Yeah.
And
Well,
meanwhile, he calls his friend that's like at a
drug
strip
addict.
club.
Working at a strip. I think he's working at the strip club, right?
So
Like,
And
but he
It's
knows where to call him. I think
Yeah.
it's a strip club. Yeah, because you see the woman on stage, and he pulls the guy down, and then a fight breaks out while he's talking to Dalton.
Can we
Yeah.
just talk about what we're calling a strip club in this film? Because it looked like the Double Deuce before Patrick Swayze was there.
Oh, with naked chicks, yeah.
Yeah, where
And
random
pool
chicks
tables.
that wanted to take their shirts off got up
Right.
on stage, and I'm like,
Oh wait,
This
that
is the
happens
most-
later in the film.
this is the most dangerous
no
place.
reason.
This movie is dangerous for women. No woman should be in this film. Like it's the most dangerous
No.
film ever for a woman. Like I was like, why would any woman want to go into this place? And then the only saving grace they have there is Sam Elliott, who looks like Splinter from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He looked wet and just like he wasn't moving fast.
He's always going like this with his hair.
And
This
I
is
don't even
the-
think he was that old when they made this movie, right? But they made him out like he was like old as shit. Well, how about this too? Every bar that you see in this film, there's people fighting. So imagine you're like 14 and you see this, you've never been in a bar. You're like, holy shit, dude, is this what happens in bars? People just get fucked up and beat the shit out of each other. Every city, it doesn't matter where it is, people are just getting fights and pulling knives out.
And everybody apparently knows these two guys. Like
Yeah.
they knew his buddy. They know his buddy.
Oh, that's Wade Garrett?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Wade Garrett. I'm like, why does he have a full name?
Yeah.
Why
I
is he
can't
saying
stop.
his full name? As if like we're trading people in like baseball teams. Like,
Yeah. It's like oh, that's fucking Wyatt Earp, man. Like, holy shit, watch out. Like, yeah.
that guy could play Wyatt Earp. But like it was so he calls him, but he didn't call him for help, but he kind of called him. So that guy just assumed that he needed help because he just shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's very strange. Yeah.
At the perfect time.
He called him at a laundromat.
Yeah, what was up with that? He's like, you all right?
I can't stop laughing because it's just like this movie's so fucking stupid.
It really is.
Why was he at a laundromat? Oh, because he doesn't have the phone. Oh, wait, we skipped over the part when he's doing his yoga jujitsu.
Oh my God, the
dance.
Tai Chi on the thing. And Wesley looks at him, and shakes his head. The guy's fucking weirdo.
Dude, I felt like
the farmer just like stares at him.
he's not blind. I thought the farmer was blind at one point. I was like, Jeff Healey's blind.
I feel so bad for the farmer, man. His house gets fucked because of Patrick Swayze. Like he's like, I'm gonna rent to this guy $100 a month, and my whole fucking farm gets blown up.
But at the end, was he living there? It looked like at the end of the movie, he was living there. Patrick Swayze.
Yeah,
living at the rich guy's house.
Was that what?
No, he was probably at the farm.
That's a crime scene at this point.
No, Pika, no one gave a shit. It's fine.
We're moving in.
Yeah, they were just like, there was no cops called. Come on. No.
Dude, my favorite part, oh my God, when he was at the laundromat, that was amazing. I was like, what is this scene? This looks like at like Saturday Night Fever. He's just like washing clothes and he's like, hey, let me call my friend at bar/strip club/crack den. Hey, how you doing? Then people beat the shit out of each other. He's still on the phone. Like, yeah, I gotta go.
The phones were so weirdly placed too. Like, that's not where the phone is gonna be at the bar.
No, definitely
perfectly placed. And why is he answering the phone? Why isn't like
the bartender
Oh my God, I loved how you're like to go into that Tai Chi thing though. You're right. Ben Gazzara is watching him, and I had a feeling that he was watching him all the time.
Oh yeah, he watched him bang his ex-girlfriend.
That
when she comes back and like he has to play with the radio to get like the perfect song because she doesn't like anything.
I'm obsessed with that scene. Obsessed with that radio because that looked like a radio that you shouldn't have gotten any reception on. Like he walks over to it and it's like a police scanner, and then it's just like rock that general public domain rock, then police scanner, and then in perfect reception, These Arms of Mine by Otis Redding. I'm like,
yes. First of all, amazing song.
Yeah,
and loved it.
Yeah.
And then they're like banging on the bed, banging outside.
No, he banged her against the wall first, which didn't look comfortable at all. Like a stone wall. Like they each only had their pants half down. I was like, dude, no one has sex like this. What the fuck is this?
Man, don't skip the whole scene because that was an amazing scene. Patrick, the kissing, all of it was weird. I was like, what's happening here?
Yeah, he takes his pants half down. Yeah. It was like all perfectly designed so you don't see any real nudity, but it's like a totally unrealistic situation. I was like, that wall looks painful. Like, Jesus, my legs
throws her against that wall. It's like, blah. It's like, whoa. And then he picks her up. Then they're dancing, sort of. And I'm like, is this?
They're just fucking.
Sex? Then he throws her on the bed. She wakes up. He's not there.
He's naked outside smoking, Dan.
Dude, Patrick Swayze wants to be
naked the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if I was in that good shape, maybe I would too. I don't know.
It was in his rider. It was in his rider. It was like, you need to have a shot of my untanned ass
all the time.
Oh my God, dude! But I just want to rewind back to the doctor scene because there was
oh my God, yeah.
It was an amazing thing when she was stapling him. Which she didn't clean that wound.
No, she just stapled it up.
She just said, we're gonna staple you now. Local anesthetic. It looked like a cartoon needle. He's like, no, that's okay. And then it's like, and then she's talking about his degree. She's like, well, what kind of stuff did you study? He's like, man's search for faith and that sort of shit. What is that even like? Man's search for faith and that sort of shit. Staple.
And he's like, oh, that hurt a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What did he say? Doesn't that hurt? He's like, pain don't hurt.
Yep. That's exactly what he said.
That's exactly what pain.
Dude, I'm telling you, he was a superhero. He had his superhero powers. He had no feeling.
Oh, God. That was an amazing scene, dude. Unbelievable.
But he goes and he bangs her, right? And while he's banging her, the guy across the street is watching.
Yeah. Totally.
That's completely normal, right?
But and then they start banging again on the roof, and he's just sitting there like watching them, just like
all the time.
I'm like, God, dude, go inside. You're torturing yourself, or just like what are you doing? You're rich, instead of like instead of hooking up with the girl that doesn't belong in Jasper, he beats her up. Like,
he beat the shit out of her.
Yeah, because
Then he brings her to the bar.
Oh, that was weird. That whole scene was uncomfortable.
But this is what's crazy. So he fucks the doctor. Now the next day, all of a sudden.
But there was an old man carrying a cup of pee. I don't want to go over that. Like when they go to the doctor's office.
What?
And they're in the doctor's office, right? They go to the hospital. Patrick Swayze's standing there. And when Kelly Lynch comes, there's this old man who looks like he's lost, holding his own urine sample and just walking with it. Yeah,
I missed that.
Background. He's just like wearing a robe.
I missed that.
Oh, that's great. Oh, I need to go back and watch that.
Oh my God, yeah. Then it's like he says, how'd this happen? He's like, natural causes.
Dude, in Lynch, when she goes out, the hairspray that she has going on.
Oh, it's like
what is that?
Yeah, why don't you come by the murder bar? Like, let's go hang out where I work.
Get dressed up nice and come to the murder bar where people die every night.
Yeah, we're sweeping.
Yeah, I need you there to sew them up.
Yeah, we're sweeping up less eyeballs now. Don't worry about it.
And the boss is still not doing shit. The boss does not do anything.
No, he just drinks all night and lets Patrick Swayze handle his shit.
Yeah, he always has a glass of whiskey in his hand.
Yep.
Or scotch, or whatever.
Yeah.
How about the scene where, once again, we've talked about how none of us know, why Brad let Wesley such an asshole, but he's just driving down the street in his Mustang, swerving all over the place,
what
is that?
Off the road. Like, why is he doing this? It's like the guy is literally just a dick to be a dick. Like, there is no reason for it at all.
Bill, I think it goes back to there's only 3 people in this town. It was as if he lives in a world where he's the last man on earth, and you ever see that show? I can just do whatever. So he was just like, well, there's nobody around, so there are no rules. And then all of a sudden, Patrick Swayze bought a car, and he's just like,
what the fuck?
There's no such thing as cars. And he just continues to do what he wants to do. Like that guy. And there was a weird scene because why wouldn't Patrick Swayze go back and chase after him?
Big asshole, what are you doing? Yeah.
I thought that's what was going to happen, but he's too zen.
Yeah.
He's too zen, man. He's too zen. He's got to go teach people how to kick big guys in the knee.
Well, he's also scarred by what happened in Memphis. Don't forget about that.
Yes.
Oh God. Oh my God.
But clearly they allude to it at the beginning where he murdered someone. Like they mentioned in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it comes back around when what's his name shows up and it's like, you're still holding on to that shit from Memphis, ain't you?
I know.
And from what they talked about. And he says that dog don't hunt, which I've never heard. I never heard that until I moved to the South. And I guess that's a phrase down here. That dog don't hunt, whatever the fuck that means.
Really?
And it's not from what they said, it seems like he was banging a married chick that he didn't know. And then her husband came back for him and he killed the guy.
Yeah,
I assume by ripping his throat out because that's
because apparently that's his move.
Yeah, he's Scorpion.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was crazy. I don't want to jump to that yet, but I was like, what the fuck is happening? I was watching some Kill Bill shit.
Dude, that was the best part.
It's Kill Bill.
When someone pulls a gun on you, you have 2 choices: die or kill him, or something like that, or kill the guy, or kill the guy. I was just like, sounds like 2 choices to me. I'm like, I didn't have to put an exclamation point on it. That's the only choice you have. There's not a third choice there, bro. It's not or jump high.
Walk away.
Or walk away. Yeah, no, not this time.
So we got that part where he's banging in. Now all of a sudden the rich dude loses his shit and starts to fuck with everybody.
Yeah, everyone he even talks to.
Yeah, he's pissed that he bought the used car from this used car dealership. Decides to just demolish the used car dealer. Oh wait, because they tried to fight it back at him. That's
why.
That was weird. I didn't even know that. So he blows up Red's place because Red apparently talked to Patrick Swayze. I guess that was enough. He blows up his place. And then they just have that secret meeting where the guy's like, we should do something. And then somehow he finds out about it and drives a monster truck through his car dealership.
Yeah. Which only has station wagons.
Yeah. I remember I was watching the movie with my wife sitting there the other night, and she looks up and she'd never seen it, and it's the monster truck scene. She's like, what the fuck are you watching? And I was like, I don't know.
I watched this by myself, on my computer. I was like,
yeah, it's an absurd scene. Like you said, man, it's product placement for Bigfoot. Go watch a monster truck race.
Yeah,
and where to get
that's all it was.
Because, like,
And it reminded me
How
of like
much those
Ace
tires
Ventura 2.
cost?
oh my
Because
god,
Ace Ventura 2 had Bigfoot in it.
Oh,
Or
did it?
Gravedigger, or one of them. Yeah.
They-
There was a Bigfoot car in it.
that movie's terrible.
In Chicago.
Where's he gonna get the tires now that he just ran through the auto delership? So clearly he's fucked now, and
Yeah,
he blew up red. So
Yeah, and I don't think Penny's is gonna want to come there after that whole explosion. Plus,
JC Penney's.
Penny's, 7-Eleven. He said something about 7-Eleven. I'm like, bro, there are 7-Elevens around here. I don't go into them because they're dangerous. Because people hang out in front of it are like, gonna hurt you. That's where people pull knives on you. Instead
Well, people go to this bar and pull knives on them, so 7-Eleven is probably safer.
It's a good point.
This bar.
maybe.
But like, so the best part, so like, we're back at the bar after he burns down Red, right?
Uh-huh.
And
That's
he's
where he
there,
goes
and
and
he's like,
he's
turn
there,
on the
right?
music. Let's have a good time. And out of nowhere, a striptease is happening.
Dude,
Like, girl is just dancing.
the worst dancing ever. Look like
Midday, by the way. It's not even dark out. Nobody lowers the lights.
So it's like 5 p.m.
It's like daylight dancing is happening. Daylight dancing is awkward dancing. It's hard to get people to daylight dance. Okay. Okay. You ever go to a party?
Pull the clothes off. That's even more awkward.
Girl
She
just starts
give a
taking her
fuck.
clothes out. It's like the brightest scene in the movie.
Yeah, the
Okay.
best part is Jeff Healey, this blind person. It's just like they keep ordering him around. Play something, Elvis. Like, play something, and he's like, okay. He has no idea what's going on. But Jeff
No.
Healey is all about like, I guess I'm playing. Like, all right, this girl dances. They should have took her to the hospital after that. I thought she was having like a seizure.
Well, that was after they beat the shit out of her, right? Like that was after Dalton went to the house and she had a bruised face, right? So
Yeah.
clearly she wasn't all there at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. She probably had some brain damage after.
And
that.
I also think the filmmakers probably had to hit the 5-minute minimum quota of bare tits in a 1980s movie.
Yes. They needed to.
It required, even in like a PG movie.
I love like that
that
everybody's
weirdness,
just
like-
there. Everybody's just staring at this, like, what's going on.
Yeah, everyone's cool with it.
Like, and then the guy, the other, like, the karate guy is like playing pool while this is happening.
Yeah.
Until, he gets summoned, like, fetch.
Well, because what does
Dalton
Dalton say? He says, keep your pet on a leash or something
Yes.
like that.
Yeah.
And he
Oh
hands the
my
girl back. I was
God.
like, Jesus. And then that's when he says, oh, okay, and brings out his karate master that does like, Donatello fucking bow tricks with
Dude,
with the fucking pool cue.
Yeah, and these guys, and Patrick's like, the other bouncers look at him like, should we try to kick his ass?
And he's
Patrick's like, yeah, go ahead. Don't go ahead. He's got a pool cue. What are you doing? Like,
the best part is when he like does his little. Did you just bring this up, Billy? The dance, like where like everybody clears out and lets him do
Around, and then
his
he's
whole
like,
thing.
and he's like, got it, and he's like showing the pool cue at everyone. And he does the come on hand.
yeah.
Also, why instead of hiring Dalton, did they not just buy some guns? Like, is Brad Wesley the only person that has firearms in this town? Because if that motherfucker showed up with the pool cue and started doing that shit, just shoot the motherfucker and the problem's done.
Yeah. Indiana Jones him. Like that was
Exactly.
like that scene in Indiana Jones in the Raiders of the Lost Ark where the guy's like got the knife, he's like got the sword, and Indiana Jones like, oh God, he's goodbye.
Yeah.
That's the only movie ever in history where I've seen a logical move by a character who had a gun, and some guy has like a saber or a sword. I'm just like,
let me fight this guy one-on-one.
Yeah. I'll put the
Shoot
gun
the
down.
motherfucker.
Let's do this.
But then all of a sudden, Dalton gets into like training mode.
Well, wait a
So,
second.
like-
Before that, there is a huge fight that happens. And Sam Elliott, like, is asked, the guy goes,
Oh, in the back?
fight. Yeah, he's like, you want to fight, dickless? And then he goes, well, I sure ain't going to show you my dick. It's just like, what?
Well, by the way, fun fact, Terry Funk is the one that came up with the idea for John Doe to call Patrick Swayze Chicken Dick.
Dude, I
This is
can't
a fun
believe Terry
fact.
Funk is in this movie. Like, what is
Wait,
happening?
who's Terry Funk?
The guy you keep calling Diamond Dallas Page, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Isn't that not Diamond Dallas Page?
He might be, Billy, because I think he did. I think it looked like Diamond Dallas. But I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, is that a wrestler?
I'm gonna look this up.
Dude, it's Terry Funk. Here we are. Where is he?
Oh my God, he was in Over the Top.
Terry
Great
Funk?
film. Great film.
Well, that's all. Yeah, that we're gonna have to talk about one of these days.
That
We
movie
really
is
have to do a
fucking
whole
retarded.
Stallone deep dive because, like, we have to
Dude, you'd
talk
be
about.
like a 4-hour film on that.
You have to do Cobra. I mean, yeah, Terry Funk was Morgan. There he is.
All right, yeah, you know what it is? That's what it was. I was just confusing him because him and Diamond Dallas Page look similar,
Yeah.
and they both wrestled. So I was just confused.
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah.
Terry Funk was just a regular wrestler. He wasn't Diamond Dallas Page.
No, but they
No,
look
no, no.
similar, don't they? Like I'm
He
not
was
crazy.
a wrestler. Terry.
How do we know that he's not?
I'm
His-
scrolling
Dude,
down in
I'm
his
100%
Wikipedia
sure.
page. Yeah, let's look up Diamond Dallas Page.
Oh my God, you're right. Terry Funk.
Yeah.
He was. His name was Terry Funk. Like he did like hardcore. He fought a lot with what's the other guy? Mankind.
Yeah, he was an
Oh,
extreme wrestler. He did all the Japanese wrestling and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So I did mistake him for Diamond Dallas Page as well.
Yeah, because look, like
Yeah.
that's
that's
Diamond Dallas Page. They look similar. Like
Yeah, Diamond Dallas Page was like some yoga program now.
oh, like Tony
Diamond
Little.
yoga, like some sort of diamond yoga.
Are we sure that he's not Diamond Dallas Page?
Dude,
They look similar, right?
I am telling you, I'm 100% sure.
I think Terry Funk is a lot older.
Yeah.
He
Dude,
was in
I'm
the-
right. Do not even try and say it. Like
I'm just like trying to prove you wrong. Like, no, he was Diamond Dallas.
They
Page.
look
No, it's-
so similar.
they do, but they're totally
Oh yeah, he was in the NWA.
Yeah, Funk started his career in '65. I think DDP was definitely younger than that.
exactly. Yes, yeah.
Fine. I'll
Still,
give it to you.
great cameo of the wrestler in the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who,
Can we
who
just say
called
that Patrick
Patrick
Swayze
Swayze
has oh my
chicken
god.
dick?
Patrick Swayze has the weirdest belly button ever.
I did not notice that.
What? Dude, he's laying out naked on his roof. They like go down and he has an Audi and it's weird. And I'm like, no.
Dude, do
As
you
he's
see the
smoking half a pack of cigarettes at once.
you see the one part when he's like chilling on his car? Who lays on a car?
Oh, come on, man.
That's
Like
like a
that.
classic movie thing. Like no one actually does that in real
Like I
life.
was like, no one actually hangs out and relaxes on a car.
It would have been crazier if he was watching Planes Land, like in in those scenes. Like I was like, all
Like
right,
he's
so
5.
yeah, I'm like, but it worked for me because I was like, yeah, Swayze's cool as fuck. Like he could be laying on that car. He should have been naked on that car. At every scene he was at the farm, he should have been naked, and it should have been like, come on, and he just throws jeans on, no underwear. Let's go. I'm gonna be in these jeans all day. It's hot, and
Oh God.
But you
So-
notice one scene, I forget where it was, but they're like, it's when Brad Wesley's like gang of schmucks are talking about how Patrick Swayze's interacting with Brad Wesley's girlfriend. They're like, yeah, dig a hole. Like they're ready to kill
what
her.
did that mean?
Yeah.
I was like,
That
whoa,
was-
Jesus. Like, what the fuck?
Dude, you know what was weird about that scene? They were hanging out in the Bigfoot and a stakeout. Like they're trying to be inconspicuous.
Telling you, the car was a terrible
20-foot
choice.
truck.
None of the
Like,
car was not a
20-foot
practical
truck,
truck.
and these guys are hanging out there like, oh, dig a hole. Just like you could be seen, bro. Like, like you're not on a motorcycle or you're in a Bigfoot. That was
So we missed the part where his
Oh.
friend shows up and like everybody's in the front, but Dalton's in the back getting liquor that
Getting
he's
his
not supposed
ass
to be getting,
kicked.
getting his ass kicked. There's no bouncers going like, "Where's Dalton?" Like, why aren't they bringing the liquor? Like, they're like the worst bouncers and friends ever. And his
Yeah.
friend, who's the limping guy, comes out and like starts to beat everybody up.
He's like,
Oh.
what's up, guys?
hey, what's up, guys? You wanna
He's
fight?
also Zen as well. And then he's like, "Oh, I need you to come and meet this doctor that I met yesterday.
Yeah.
She's the love of my life." They hang out until like 8:00 in the morning.
And then he clearly tries to bang her. Like, he clearly does.
total coggling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, total Coughlin.
He's
Yeah.
totally like, if she was like, hey, let's go, he'd be like, oh, fuck you, mijo, let's go.
Yeah,
Why did he say mijo?
I don't know.
I was like, come on, like, don't stop saying that. It's like, all right, mijo.
Doesn't that mean like my son?
yeah. I'm telling you, he's the one that taught Dalton like the way of the bouncing and cooler ways.
Yeah,
Like
but
they
it-
should have a business together. They should be like the Cooler Brothers.
It's like, didn't they write a book about like something about Zen and motorcycle maintenance? It's like
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
about bouncing.
Yeah, yeah,
Zen and cooling.
yeah.
The Zen art of Zen and cooling.
Like, those two just like could have been making money. Just going all over the United States.
Well,
just
obviously,
like changing bars.
Dalton is making money, but Sam Elliott's character,
Well, he's just a true nomad. Like
He had
Dalton.
a nice Harley.
Yeah. Dalton wasn't as injured, so he can go around a lot.
Dude, when they listed all the injuries that he had, like I was like, he should be dead.
No, he should have been dead. That's
She's
why
like,
they
Dalton,
played
you're
him
gonna
Ghost.
be crippled when you get older in life.
He's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Oh God.
Speaking of ghosts, it's funny how in that movie someone gets thrown through a window and it kills them, whereas in this scene people get thrown through a window and it's like, no big deal, fucking dust off and keep fighting.
Yeah. Dude, I love that because after they beat the shit out of them and they go to see the Ben Gazzara and they tell him he screwed up. Ben Gazzara beats the crap out of that one guy. I'm like, he's an old man. If he punched
what are you doing?
Yeah. That guy should be like, oh, ow. Like, I mean, like, why did he knock him out? How did he knock him out?
He's like, you're soft.
You're soft.
It would have been way better if Frank Langella played Ben Gazzara.
Oh my God, yeah.
You know, because that I would have believed. You know what I mean?
Or James Caan, like someone like that. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need a real, true, crazy person like playing that part. But yeah, that didn't work for me. I didn't understand. I was like, they're afraid of this guy. Why are they afraid of him? Is it just because of money and the smallest gun ever? He brings a small gun around.
Dude, he rules the town. He's bringing JCPenney's.
Oh
Come on.
And then that's like that one scene ends after they beat the shit out of each other. Patrick Swayze and the guy with the pool cue where he fires his gun because Patrick Swayze may win, so let's stop this shit.
Yeah.
And that's when I think it escalates. So I can't remember. That point is, because fucking his buddy Wade Garrett is already there at that point, right? Because he ties his hair up knowing that a fight's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And they end that shit. He fires the gun, and what the hell happens after that? I can't remember. There's some kind of like pissed off scene where maybe I think that's when he starts punching up fucking training, and he shows up and says, "It's time to move on, bro. Let's go." Like, and he's like, "Oh, I love this town. I've lived in 2 weeks."
Yeah, exactly. Like his friend knew it was time to go. Like,
he's like, bro,
you survived that fight. Let's like get the fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here. The funny part was like that was when I was like, oh, Patrick Swayze like a Rocky style montage here. Because like a Rocky style like workout montage, because they really messed up. There should have been one montage, some sort of montage, and that was it. I think that would have been great because he's climbing a rope. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like it was like when you watch Rocky 4, where he's like lifting the fucking thing.
Oh yeah, that was probably the barn they used in Rocky 4.
He's pulling the rocks up and doing like lifts with the rocks.
Like and then he climbs a 20,000-foot mountain. Like, you got to descend that mountain now, bro. Like, you're dead. There's no way you did all that and then fought the next day.
No.
Rocky
but
so Dalton doesn't listen to him. How's it? So he tells him to go fuck himself. Basically, he's gonna leave, and isn't that when he gets the phone call from Wesley at that point?
Yeah, and Wesley turns into like a Joker, like kind of like the Joker's like question, like her or him, like basically like who do you love the most? Like who do you choose, her or him? Yeah, and then like.
But then he still gets dressed and goes to work, right? Like, because isn't he at the bar then when he first walks in and has his ass kicked? So he's like freshly dressed. So like pick one. He's like, maybe I'll just get dressed and go to work and then think about this.
But then like there's no boss, nobody's there, nobody's at work, and then what's his name shows up and he's like,
got his ass kicked and he's like, have a beer and we'll leave.
Yeah, have a beer, we gotta go. And he goes to the doc. He goes to the hospital. She's looking at X-rays of what the fuck was going on there. I was like, and then he's like, "We're gonna go." But you see, we skipped what happened here. She doesn't want to go because he just tore that guy's throat out.
Oh shit! I forgot about that. He kills the guy first. Yeah.
Right.
Oh man, we skipped whole thing.
That's what kind of kicks this all off is they blow up the guy's house after they blow up Red's thing. Yeah.
First of all, so when he sees that guy, he's wearing like Christmas style, like pajamas, like a onesie with a flap in his ass.
Yeah.
Like he's Yosemite Sam or something.
What's crazy is that the doctor's like totally fine until like the fighting's happening. Yeah. Of course, like Patrick Swayze can run after a man who's on a motorcycle.
Jump him off the motorcycle.
Jump him off the motorcycle.
Amazing. Amazing scene.
Like that shit was like a Fast and the Furious scene. Like
I rewound
like
that.
only that shit can only happen in Fast and the Furious now. Like jumping thing. Like I didn't realize that Patrick Swayze could do it as well. You know, Vin Diesel only can do that. But no, Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
The original.
He's fighting this guy and like he's getting his ass kicked. I mean, he's getting his ass kicked. And I'm thinking, like, doesn't Kelly Lynch see any of this? Like, she sees what's going on, right? Like, unbelievable.
She gets so upset for somebody that like just watched her man get like destroyed and a house gets blown up.
And almost
she gets all upset because like he rips out this dudede's throat. Like, come on.
This guy she's known 3 days rips out someone's throat.
Yeah,
dude, first of all, when that part comes up, I was like, wait.
Yeah.
They just have him grab this guy's jugular.
And also, it felt like it happened early in the movie. Like, from just watching this in the past, I always felt like that was like right near the end. And I feel like there's still like half an hour of the movie left after that.
There's so much more.
This is like Point Break.
That's where it should have ended. Like,
like that should like there should have been one more scene after that, the culmination. But it's like, you know, he tells them that he used to fuck guys in prison like him, and then they get in the fight, and then he rips his fucking throat out with his bare hands. Which, how do you do that? Does Patrick Swayze not cut his nails? Like, is he dig in? Like, I don't know how it works.
Dude, I don't know because like
I'm telling you, he's a superhero. He was Wolverine, or like who was the guy that was Wolverine's like arch, like exactly
Sabretooth.
Sabretooth.
Yeah, which could never. I mean, I feel like Sabretooth could not, you know, be inconspicuous either. I mean, he really got screwed on the mutant side of that. Like, I was like, God damn it! What the fuck?
Didn't Liev Schreiber play him in one of the films?
Yes.
Yeah.
He did. But yo, dude, like, so he rips this guy's throat out. The doctor runs over to save the guy's life. Like, she has
He's fucking dead, bro.
Like, dude, you're dating a bouncer. Like, this is what he does.
Yeah, but she gets angry at him. The guy pulled a gun on him. And
just blew up a house to try and murder someone. Like, how dare you kill this attempted murderer?
How dare you
fuck yourself?
The guy's a terrorist.
How dare you save my life?
Yeah. How dare you save my life? How dare you then defend yourself? The guy pulled a gun on you. You have to, you know, fatality him. I mean, it literally was like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, you're right. It was literally.
That shit was literally that.
Mortal Kombat.
Did he hold it? Did he like?
No, I think he fell down. Like, the only thing that was missing, like if Scorsese had directed this movie, he would have done it, and like blood would have shot out 12 feet. Like, you know, like.
Unnecessarily to, like, eat it like
the zombie movie.
It's a fatality, and then he just drops in the water, and she's like, "Oh my god!" And she runs away. It's just like, did you not see what was going on here?
Did Wesley watch this whole thing?
That's what it seemed like. Because then you got Dalton throwing the body, screaming Wesley, which reminded me of when Rocky's screaming Drago in the top of the mountain, like, you know. But only he's floating a body across the river.
That was an amazing scene. I love that because Patrick Swayze is all cool and collected, and then just like in Point Break, he just starts screaming, he's like, Wesley, Wesley, and he like pushes the body across the lake and it floats all across. I'm just like, yo,
dude, Dan, I was thinking the same thing. Like, this is the part where he loses all thinking.
Yeah.
Just like in Point Break, and like the plan just goes awry, and he loses everyone. Basically, he lost his best friend because he wasn't thinking. Like, they should have just left after that.
Well, like, he didn't lose his friend until after that because he rips.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Gets dressed and goes to work.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, he kills this dude, screaming Wesley, goes to work, doesn't leave town because he thinks he's better than everybody. I don't know why he doesn't leave town after this. And then he cost his best friend's life over this.
Yeah, he totally should have just let the doctor get killed.
Or just like, or why not? Why are you going into the doctor and then coming back to the bar? Why wouldn't you just?
Why didn't he bring his friend with him? He has a car.
Yeah. What? So like, stay here, have a beer? It's just like
why didn't you throw him in the back of the car and leave?
Yeah,
the only reason why I was thinking is that he needed to get paid.
Well,
one of those, like, oh, we need this last payday to get the hell out of here.
But the boss was so terrible. You didn't see the boss until the end, who finally does something at the end.
Well, I mean, he sucks. I mean, all the people in this town are garbage.
I think he even shoots Wesley while still holding like a whiskey glass. Like the guy always had a whiskey glass.
I love how he wore a bolo tie in the beginning. Like rich people wear bolo ties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now he loses his friend.
And that's when he really loses his shit.
Yeah. And now he's going after Wesley.
Yep. He doesn't modify his car like any weird movie would. You would
No,
think.
but the car scene where he blows up the fucking Mercedes.
Yeah, where he
insane.
just puts the
where he
brick
puts
down.
the knife.
Everyone, because he pulls the knife out of Garrett and he shoves it in the thing, and everyone's shooting it and firing it up, while he's sneaking onto the property like a ninja.
Why is he bringing the Mercedes? Why not bring the shit car that like everybody's been beating up this whole time?
That's a good point, Manny.
It probably got exploded in that gigantic explosion.
What?
Didn't the red explosion or the one at the house?
I don't know. Maybe the car he didn't change the tires again after the last time they fucked his car up. It's possible.
He's like, I guess I got to sacrifice the Mercedes.
Yeah, but he totally over the tops it, driving the car like when Stallone drove the truck straight through the mansion.
Yeah.
Yep.
Drives through the thing. Finally gets to Wesley in why we have to go into a hunting scene.
Well, first he murders everyone there.
Everyone. I mean, he
murders everyone except the fat guy.
There's 8 people that die in this movie.
Predators, everybody. He's just
that's the body count.
I loved it.
That's it? 8? All right. 8. I thought it'd be more than that.
So did I.
I love that part though. It was great.
Yeah, he's like a ninja. He's like fucking, SEAL Team 6 murdering everyone. And then the fat guy, because he's clearly there just for comic relief, has the fucking polar bear fall on him.
Oh, yeah. He unloads a gun and it's obviously stuffed polar bears. What the fuck? I thought he died. I was like, I guess that's how they kill him.
I thought he died too until the end when he's like, a polar bear fell on me. That was
And the guy's name was Tigger.
Yes.
I didn't know half these characters had names
at all. Everybody knows everybody and forgives people very quickly.
Because 100 people live in this town.
They were totally fine with Tigger. When he throws the gun, they're like, Tigger, did you see anything? He's like, I didn't see anything. And they're like, all right. And totally fine. Dude was just about to kill you.
You missed the scene after this film when they brought him out back and shot him fucking
Well, yeah, Miller's Crossing where he chokes him with his scarf. No, take him out.
So at the end of this movie, they're still living there? He didn't leave town?
Well, wait.
Well, let's talk about the Brad Wesley scene, that last one.
Yeah, we can't not talk about this death scene, which is ridiculous.
Stupid.
Yeah, I agree. It's really stupid.
The fight we're all waiting for: Patrick Swayze versus Ben Gazzara. What is this?
This is why I agree, Bill, that the movie should have ended after the big fighting scene that happened when he pulled this guy's throat out.
Yeah,
that
was the badass motherfucker he was to fight, and now it's you said, Pico. It's 60-year-old Ben Gazzara gonna fucking fight hand in hand. Of course he's gonna fucking kick the shit out of him,
Yeah, but
and it was even you knew you're watching. He's firing shots at him, okay, this is ridiculous.
Patrick Swayze is fucking a superhero who doesn't die. He is Vin Diesel of that time.
You remember in Con Air when Nicolas Cage gets shot and he doesn't flinch and he just keeps walking forward to the front of the plane?
Adrenaline.
Yeah, this is this. He gets shot by Ben.
I don't remember this scene now. They're in. I know that they're in the hunting lodge. The hunting stuffed animal everywhere.
Weird.
What is he saying to him?
He's saying we could team up now or something. We should talk.
Does he say that? Oh yeah.
A team of what? You blew everything up. What do you need a contractor now to rebuild?
He doesn't own a bar.
Yeah, I was the bar should blow up. I'm surprised the bar didn't explode.
Well, it's because he lost his pet, whatever that was. That guy's name Jimmy. Was that what it was? So he needs to do martial art pet, and Dalton is clearly who he is on.
Yeah, Ben is that fight scene was so stupid.
Of course, he gets the upper hand on Dalton, and then out of nowhere are these fucking 4 old guys with fucking shotguns. They're just shooting him.
Those are the guys that were like
God.
in town that only decided to start
Yeah.
standing up against this
Finally.
millionaire finally when
Well, because
Dalton shows
Dalton
up.
is awesome. That's why. Clearly, it's all because of Dalton.
Dalton gave them the inspiration to stand up for themselves.
Well,
But I will give Ben Gazzara credit because he takes like 3 12-gauge shotgun full-on shots to the chest before he falls down.
Bro, I was just like, because they have to make it look like he's like indestructible because he's like an old man. So they're like, we have to somehow make the killing scene of Ben Gazzara really sensational because, first of all, it looked like at some point Patrick Swayze was gonna, fatality him as well. Like he had him and he was like, I'm gonna rip his throat out. I'm like, so this is his move. Like
that Kelly Lynch comes in and he feels bad about it, so he lets him go, right? Isn't that how it happened?
Yeah, and then he it's just like, dude, Temple of Doom this motherfucker. Like, just like get this fucking guy and just like pull that throat right out. But Kelly was like, no. He stops. And of course, what happens? Ben Gazzara pulls a gun on him. Thank God. I guess these 3 guys were watching the whole time. Like, how long were they standing there?
Yeah, what was that?
When were they going to kill it? Like, shoot him now.
That scene when he was about to. It reminds me of Karate Kid 2 when he's
Mr.
like,
Miyagi.
never die. And he's like...
After he throws the racist slur at Mr. Miyagi in the beginning of Karate Kid 2, which is so awkward.
Oh, dude. And then everyone is doing that drum thing, like and a dance.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
The cops show up right after, they take the guns, go away, and the cops like, what happened here where there's 10 fucking dead people? And they're like... Didn't see nothing. You see anything? And I'm like, dude, there's a fucking, a morgue full of bodies here. I don't think that excuse is going to fly.
Are these cops from this town or another town?
I think they're this town. Because don't they say earlier that Ben Gazzara has him in his pocket?
Yes.
Yeah. It was just a weird scene. And they shot him.
The cops were just happy he was fucking dead.
They shot him like they shot Sonny Corleone in like Godfather 1. I was just like, holy fuck. I was just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Dude, you know that in Roadhouse 2, Last Call,
he's a DEA agent.
No, it says that the character of Dalton, Patrick Swayze, who does not appear, is said to have died, shot dead before the following film events take place.
Oh God, really?
Ben Gazzara's nephew?
Yeah, well, like Godfather 3.
Oh, it says the sequel features just a handful of references to Dalton, but the central character is Dalton's son as an adult. Yeah, listen to this. The plot is DEA agent Shane Tanner is the son of a legendary cooler named James Dalton. So different.
I already like Jesus. That's terrible.
Nate Tanner is Shane's uncle and the owner of the Black Pelican, a bar located in Nate's new permanent home of Tyree, Louisiana. Nate gets a call from his rival, who is nicknamed Wild Bill, the former Black Pelican cooler, who has been trying to steal it from Nate. Wild rival? Dude, this is Wild Bill asks Nate to meet him at a pier, supposedly to discuss a truce. This is like ridiculous. At the end, it is revealed that Victor had wanted Shane dead for a drug bust. Oh my God. Dude, this whole thing is ridiculous. He's a DEA agent. Do you know that Dalton doesn't strike anybody until 26 minutes into the film? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Dalton's rule of bouncing goes like this, Billy. Never underestimate your opponent. Expect the unexpected. Take it outside. Never start anything inside the bar unless it's absolutely necessary. And be nice. Yeah.
Be nice until it's time to not be nice.
Yeah, be nice until it's time to
rip someone's fucking throat out.
Did you guys ever see the Family Guy episode where they reference Roadhouse, where Peter Griffin just starts screaming Roadhouse and kicking people?
Yeah. Totally ridiculous. Oh my God.
He's like, Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. I mean, this whole movie is absolutely ridiculous.
Patrick Swayze actually did that jumping scene where he took what's his name off the bike.
What?
Yeah.
This is what I mean. I just want to say that, like, as cheesy as this movie is, and as cheesy as most of the movies are in the 80s, and especially the movies that Patrick Swayze has been in, he is one of the greatest actors. He's amazing, doing all the stunts, doing the skydiving.
Oh, he's a badass motherfucker, dude.
It's the 80s. Like, when we look back at those movies, or even the 90s, it's like, those are the movies coming out. So it's like, the people that were in them weren't doing bad. I mean, there were some people doing a really bad job, but I mean, like he didn't do a bad job. I mean, he took what was garbage lines and made a character that we all cared about. I cared about at least, but like it was just like unbelievable. I thought it was like fucking awesome.
Dude, I have to do this last fact before we get into the final test of this.
Well, we have to talk about the final scene because
hold on.
Talk about the final scene.
Marshall, which plays Jimmy, initially didn't get along with Patrick Dalton, but while filming their big fight, both men quickly realized they shared a dedication and realistic stunts, which improved their relationship. They developed such a mutual trust that they improvised a lot and allowed each other to throw real punches and kicks. When Jimmy swings a log at Dalton, Tegan mistakenly thought it was a breakable prop.
No way!
Swayze was covered in bruises, 2 broken ribs, and a bruised knee.
Oh my god. Dude, that's fucked up.
This is why this man missed being in Tango and Cash, which is great because that was a flop.
Dude, I found this thing where it says facts you didn't know about Roadhouse, the most ridiculous 80s movie. And it says this, that it says, according to Kelly Lynch, whenever Bill Murray sees the movie on TV, he calls her husband, Mitch Glazer, to tease him about her sex scene with Patrick Swayze.
Dude, what a creep. That is the creepiest shit I've ever heard.
Creepy.
That is
that's
ridiculous.
so funny.
Like, that means at some point he's like looking for that. Like, come on, bro. Like,
Yep.
Oh my God. Rod Harrington, the director, he wanted to show Dalton still had to do regular things like laundry. Why?
That's what he called the person from the laundromat. Like, why do we care that he does laundry?
Like,
he's not a normal person.
No, he's a killer.
He rips a dude's fucking jugular out.
And he does it
amazing.
Wearing pleated pants all the time.
You're right.
And no underwear.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah, what kind of shoes does he have on?
I don't know, but maybe he's not even wearing socks.
No, he's definitely
no undergarments. But he wears no undergarments at all. But in that sex scene with Kelly Lynch, he's wearing a sweater vest.
Yeah, I know that was bothering me too. I was like, dude, he's like way too cool to be wearing that. What's going on here? This doesn't make any sense.
What is going on? Like that bothered me exactly. I was just like,
I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, you have a character who shows his ass, who is wearing jeans with no underwear, who rips throats out, who's like the coolest guy, and then you put him in a sweater vest right before like the sexy. Like, what is this? Like, the female character that like brings him the coffee and gross sandwich in the beginning and sees his ass. They like write her right out of the film.
Yeah.
She's gone after a while.
She was only there to warn him. Like, she's the one that told him about Wesley. Like, she's like, oh, you don't understand. That was Wesley's nephew. Yeah. And that's when he started to like dig around on who Wesley was.
Yeah.
You remember, I forgot to bring this up earlier, but do you remember the point where when Wesley beats the shit out of that guy for like, fucking up or whatever, and you see Brad Wesley's boots and they look like women's boots? Do you remember that scene?
Yeah.
I was like, why is he wearing women's boots? What's going on?
He looked like he was dressed to go like in a retirement community in like Florida. Like he looked like he should be in like West.
Because he's like 70.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be fighting Patrick Swayze.
Beating the shit out of this guy.
Get the fuck out of here. Like Patrick Swayze before that ripped the guy's throat out. Ben Gazzara's gonna stop him? Fuck out of here.
How does it end? What's the last scene?
How does it end?
So they off him, everyone says, I didn't see nothing, and we have a big laugh, and then they cut to them frolicking naked in the river.
Dude, It's not even frolicking. Kelly Lynch is
so the river where that guy was floating and dead with his jugular hanging out.
Exactly. Yeah. Got it. But what's funny is Patrick Swayze, like, jets it. Like, he's running full speed at the water and dives naked into the water. And I'm like, why is this the end scene of this film? Like, and then they're naked. And I'm like, what? I mean, it's like that weird scene in Caddyshack where, like, Chevy Chase has the woman come to his house and she slides down the water slide with no top on, but it's like weird random nudity that doesn't make sense.
It's the tits quota from 80s movies. They need to hit it or they can't go live.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but do you notice that in the end of the film in that scene that Cody is on the bank playing the guitar while they're frolicking naked in the water?
No.
Is that who's on there? I was trying to see if
Are you serious?
So Jeff Healey They get this blind guy to play the guitar while they're naked.
No, he's not. Cody, the blind guy.
No way. Oh my God. Do I still have it up? Oh my God, I do. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, okay. Hold on a second. Okay. Because if it is, I will lose my mind.
I think it's him.
Okay, so here's Jeff Healey playing, and then okay, here we go. Yeah, it is. It's totally him. I gotta rewind it again because the scene before that, he's in the bar playing, and then the next scene, he's playing on the bank while they're. Oh my God, no!
While they're
Dude,
fucking in the water.
Jeff Healey gets. It's totally him. It's gotta be. Oh my God, it's him. That is so weird.
Right? Who's like, all right, they're gonna swim naked, and we'll have Jeff Healey on the banks playing the guitar.
Yeah. Patrick Swayze is gonna run by you, buck naked, and dive into this lake. Like, oh my God.
They're like, oh, don't worry, you can't see anything, but you can certainly hear things.
Dude, they totally abuse this, like Jeff Healey and his blindness this entire movie.
His music does make the movie better, though. I enjoy the soundtrack that he's playing.
Oh yeah, no, he's good in it.
Yeah. No,
and his stage gets so much better for him.
Yeah,
absolutely. It was so funny as like the bar was getting nicer, the stage was getting nicer, and it's like, oh, let's take the chicken wire down now. I guess like it's safe.
Yeah, and then they put like green carpet. It looked like.
People were still getting the shit kicked out of him at the bar, though, so they may have been a little premature.
Yeah.
Oh
my God, this scene is so weird. Oh, and Patrick Swayze dunks Kelly Lynch. Oh my God.
And then they all have leeches all over them because that river looks nasty as fuck too.
Yeah, don't be in this lake or whatever. Oh.
Whatever it is, yeah, I'm not a big river or lake swimming fan.
The funny part is Jeff Healey plays slide electric guitar. That means he's playing on the bank without an amplifier. No one hears that.
He clearly doesn't have headphones on. This is the 80s, so
he's just up there like plucking away and like,
all you hear is the splashing of those two having sex in the
he's probably said, Dalton?
Is that you?
Dalton?
Are we going to the next town?
Maybe he's hanging out with the farmer.
Can you please put me inside?
Oh yeah, where's the farmer?
Building a new house.
They build the farm. Yeah, it's like. Oh man! All right.
God damn.
We're here. We're at the end. Who's going first?
I mean, I don't know.
Billy, I'm gonna let you go first. You're the guest.
So all right. So this is the one part I'm not clear on. So I have to say if it passes the nostalgia test.
So here's the thing: something could be nostalgic, where it makes you just think about it, makes you remember all the times that you had, and it's good when you watch it because it's just making you think of then. But to truly pass the nostalgia test,
it has to actually be good
now.
Yeah,
you have to think of like, I think it's good, and you'd watch it and have other people watch it.
Yeah. Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles passed the nostalgia test because it's a movie that's just it's still fucking good. I mean,
that's the most successful independent film of all time. Yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
Totally independent.
So like Cocktail passed it for me because I just loved it so much. Point Break passed it for the both of us.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's it totally
it's hard, man. Fuck, this is hard.
All up to you, man. It's your thing. So
it's just how you, or like if you watch it, like if you're looking at it, am I supposed to look at this objectively? I guess is my real question.
I mean,
it doesn't fucking matter. It's a podcast that we're making up. So
the episode we're gonna release, the episode that from last week, that if everyone's heard it already, that's already been released on Cartoon Theme Songs. I mean, like, how do you even make that one? Like,
yeah, fair enough. Well, I'm gonna say for me, I'm gonna go ahead because I'm gonna judge it based on this. Like, there are certain movies that you remember watching growing up, and you watch them now, and you're like, how the fuck did I ever like that? That movie is shit,
Like
this
Killer
movie
Clowns from Outer Space?
Yes, exactly. This movie is not that for me. I still thoroughly enjoyed watching it when I watched it last week. So for me, I'm going to say it passed the nostalgia test. Like, I know it's not a good film. I know it's ridiculous. But it still entertains me today. It's not like it's a memory that I had in the past where it was good at the time and it was what it was. To me, it's still entertaining for what it is nowadays. I don't take it seriously. It's I'm not comparing it to The Godfather or Goodfellas or like some quality film. Like, but it's still, to me, it's still entertaining as fuck. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, yeah, pass the nostalgia test for me.
All right, Manny.
I don't know. It's hard for me. Like, again, doing this the podcast, and like when I'm talking to you guys, like I want to say I hate this movie because when I was watching it, I was like, this fucking movie is terrible. But then like I think about why I like other movies, and I'm like, why didn't I like this movie as much as other movies? But I didn't really, to be honest, the first time, like I said before, like first time I watched the full movie, I've only seen parts of this movie, and so maybe that's why it wasn't like so nostalgic to me, because like the only reason why it's even nostalgic in a way is that I remember so many other people liking it, and I was like, it must have been great. And I was watching it, and I'm like, this movie isn't fucking great. So no, it's definitely not good for now, but it does, like after talking about it, it has like the classic 80s everything about it. It's an 80s like action film. I guess I'd have, if I put it to like, I'm gonna try to put it towards like against, if I put it against Point Break, it's just as bad good as Point Break. Like, it's Patrick Swayze. There's just so much about it that you're like, wow, like what the fuck? Like, yeah, the movie made no sense whatsoever. The plot line is the simplest plot line ever. Like, dude's a cooler, beats the shit out of these people, done. Like, there is no story, like you said. Like, Cocktail tried to be like this love story, and this guy trying to make it, basically open up on Fridays. But there is no story. Like, the storyline is nothing. Like, it doesn't matter. It could have been that his revenge was on the rich guy. It could have been that his revenge was another guy that like he beat the shit out of one time. Like, it didn't matter. Like, the whole point was that Patrick Swayze is a tough ass cooler. Like, so I would say, damn it. Do I say it passes though? It passes, but not with flying colors. But it passes.
It just
passes.
5.
It passes with neon colors.
All right, sweet spot.
Okay.
I mean,
All right.
I'm in the same boat as Manny, where like I've seen bits and pieces of this movie. I never saw it all in one sitting. I think of it this way: that if Patrick Swayze wasn't in this film, then there'd be a real problem. You know, like
it wouldn't have been made.
That'd be done.
No,
Yeah,
Patrick Swayze, he is amazing at this. He's amazing. Same thing when I watch Point Break. Like, I watch Point Break, I'm like, Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves just like do something like as a duo in this film, right? It's a garbage film, but it's just so good and it was entertaining. And I think also with this movie, much like Point Break, like there's a fuck it, we're doing a 2-hour fucking drama action film. And we're doing that. And it's got comedy in it because the one-liners are funny, like Point Break. Yeah. But that's not funny about this film. You know, no. Funny. It's an action film. It's action drama. Like, we were talking about this once before, Manny, with Point Break, basically, that like now with action movies, there's got to be comedy. There's always weird like comedy. Here, it's just like there's not comedy. It's just like one-liners that are fucking awesome.
Well, I think it was like what Billy said. Like, this movie didn't want to laugh at itself.
No,
like this movie was
they're
like,
taking it deadly serious.
Yeah, they're like, yo, we're making a fighting movie that like this is some dude who gets into a lot, you know, big fight. It's a serious movie. There's no joking around, and it's about a guy who fucking terrorizes his own neighborhood, like, and a dude who's going to stand up against him. It's not like a joke. None of this is trying to be funny at all.
And that's what makes it so entertaining. Like, I would argue, you mentioned this, Manny, is that, you know, the good bad movie. I would argue this is the best bad movie of all time. Like,
I think a lot of people agree with you. I think it's been awarded
it's a
that.
Terrible film, but it's the best terrible film ever made.
Yeah, I feel like this movie and Point Break, we keep like to me like right there with each other.
I would agree with that.
So like to me, like I think this movie passes the nostalgia test. I think Roadhouse is so much part of like of American cinema in that way that it's like a bad film, but people are just like if you say, you know, it's almost like, you know, Billy, like when we used to walk around and be like Slayer and someone outside of it, Slayer.
Yeah.
Like Roadhouse is almost like that. Like it's something that everyone always talks about in some way culturally. Like it's significant in a lot of different ways. And Patrick Swayze is just awesome to watch.
Yep.
I mean, he does this thing where like when he stares, and it's like he's not staring at the camera and he's not staring at any characters. He's like staring to the side when
The
he's
fiery
talking.
stare.
And I'm like, holy shit, he's just like doing this thing. And like
He glows.
Totally. I mean, he totally glows. But I would say this passes a nostalgia test. I mean, Roadhouse is. I'm so happy we did this episode. Like in that, I was been able to finally watch this movie in like a single.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I want to thank you, Billy, for that because I was
I'm glad
I was like, I never. And yeah, I remember you when we were texting. You were like, you're welcome for the gem or something like that. You said it's a gem. You're welcome.
It's the culmination to me of, like I said, it's 89. It's the end of the 80s. Yeah. It's the culmination of every ridiculous trope you saw in an 80s movie in one film, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But with good, like with Patrick Swayze, who's a good actor. The rest of the acting, for the most part, shit. But like, he's so amazing. He carries the film, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's just every ridiculous 80s trope in one movie. Like, it's so awesome.
Yeah, he and that's the thing. And because he's so serious, like it makes the film. If he was like if he was like trying, and he acts the shit out of this movie. I mean, it's like he doesn't let up. Every one-liner he delivers like well. Like unlike in Cobra, where like Stallone delivers one-liners. It's just
they're cheesy as fuck.
You're talking about two different type of actors. Though,
Still an entertaining movie. Don't get me wrong, but not on the same level.
Cobra is like weird. I don't know.
That movie's weird as shit, dude. With the serial killer going around. Yeah.
Did you ever see Last Action Hero?
Oh fuck yeah, dude!
Yeah, that movie is crazy good. Just because that is like
people hate that movie. I love that movie.
That movie's. Somebody told me like, oh, how cheesy it is. I was like, that's the whole point of the movie. It's supposed to make fun of cheesy movies, like action
it's a joke.
films.
Yeah,
it's making fun of Arnold Schwarzenegger in an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Yeah,
like,
and it's got the good old Megadeth song for the intro. Yeah, that's a good movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, and I just want to give it up for Jeff Healey again.
I mean, he was great. I mean, the soundtrack was great, man. That's like to me, like that's like that, you know, like Southern rock blues feel. Like you expect to, like he brought it home. Like when you walk into that bar and you hear that music playing, you're like, all right, if this bar existed, because I don't think it actually fucking does anywhere. This is the kind of music that would be playing here. You know, like,
you would hope that this bar does not exist somewhere.
Jesus Christ, I hope not.
Manny, remember when we were in Louisiana, New Orleans, and we went to that
about
bar
to say this.
off of Bourbon Street? We were walking down an alley. Like, I remember walking down that alley and being like, I don't think we should be walking down this alley.
Yeah.
And we sat at this bar and had some drinks, and I was like, did not feel safe at all.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like, you can get these.
Remember we did karaoke in the bar, too?
Yeah. No, it looked like I like it was just dark and like.
Oh, it was a shady bar. I was also going to say, like, this is a bar that you would have seen in, like, Wall Drug.
It was the bar we went to in Wall Drug.
Yeah,
literally.
Like that shit was crazy. It was like $1 beers, and you're like
$2.50 Jack and Cokes, and like,
oh, were you drinking here? Oh, it was crazy.
We were playing pool all night, and the locals or whoever they were just kept watching us, and like we were just.
It was your birthday too.
Yeah. But that's kind of what it was like.
And Bill, I think it did get awarded for like most enjoyable movies to watch. Yeah.
Nice, good. Yeah. I'm glad to hear that. I love movies like that. Yeah, it's like every Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Dude, I watched Kindergarten Cop a couple months ago, and I was like, that movie is so good on how bad
it's amazing. Like, have you guys done Commando yet? Because that's also a good bet.
No, we have.
You should do, like you said, you should do a Stallone one. You should do a Schwarzenegger one too, because you can't just pick one movie like this. They're all like, you know.
Hey everyone, thanks for hanging in there. Thanks for listening to this amazing episode. Billy, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Love to hear everyone's thoughts on Roadhouse. Like, what were your favorite parts of the movie? Like, did we forget anything? Did we get it right? Follow, subscribe, rate the podcast, review the podcast, and join the mailing list. You know, we're starting a nostalgia revolution here, people. So we need your help. Share it with
Do you think they should reboot anything from the 80s and 90s?
Never again.
Sure you
No. Is the answer, everyone. No.
All right,
everybody. Thanks. See you in the next episode.
Thanks for listening to today's episode.
Please subscribe to the Nostalgia Test podcast to know when new episodes drop. Don't forget to leave us 5 stars and a positive review so more people can find the podcast. Share your thoughts and memories on today's topic on our Twitter at Nostalgia Test and on Instagram at The Nostalgia Test. Tune in next time because you never know what pop culture will pop up on The Nostalgia Test.